Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to the stream. Let's add 3Dub. You keep disappearing, 3Dub. What is going on?
Yeah, I keep pinging my trying to
What is
reconnect my
happening?
camera.
I keep seeing you vanish. I'm like, where is 3Dub going? Where is he heading?
Every time I hit my camera, it basically disconnects everything. So I'm like, okay, what?
So what do you mean hit your camera? Like, is it somewhere where
You know the button
whatever?
that turns on the camera? Every time I hit it, it shuts off everything.
Oh.
So I'm just not going to use it.
Okay. I am setting up the goals for both streams. We're going to do 10 super chats of any tier in the Reloaded channel. Let's go over to the other channel, and I'll set up one over there. I'm going to go over everything we're talking about in just a moment, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good night. By the way, I forgot to do my normal spiel. Welcome to the Nocturnal Nerdcast, Pop Culture in the Dark, the most popular podcast at this time of night ever in the existence of podcast. And I think you people need to understand that when you're here, you are hanging out in the best place you could possibly be. I think that's overselling it just a little bit. So, all right. Hello, everyone in the Reloaded channel, everybody in the Debunks channel. Glad everybody here this evening. Let us talk about what we're going to be discussing tonight. Okay, so we have so much. I already showed 3Dub. We have so much. I compiled all of the quotes, all of the information I could possibly find to talk about for Marvel tonight. This is going to be primarily a Marvel stream. We're going to be talking about Fantastic Four. We're going to be talking about the future of the MCU. It's just a lot of stuff. There's also some information from DC as well, but we're going to save that until the end because if we don't get to that tonight, we'll just talk about it on another stream. Okay? So tonight we're going to focus on all of this Kevin Feige stuff. We're going to take a look at the toy line for Fantastic Four. We're going to look at the Funkos and the Hot Toys for both of those. There's a cringy interview from Fantastic Four. Apparently, somebody used ChatGPT to go into the interview. Did not go well. We might watch that trailer. If I don't know if we're going to get to it, but if somebody super chats and says watch the trailer, like if they do a $5 super chat and says watch the Predator Badlands trailer, I will 100% put it in my tab. We will get to it. But as of right now, it's kind of iffy. I want to, but we'll see. What else do we have? I have a few things bookmarked, right? The rest of this week, we're going to be doing Thursday night will be a no spoiler review of the Fantastic Four. And we'll talk about any remaining DC news we don't get to tonight if that happens. But I'm hoping to get to it tonight, but there's so much stuff, you guys. So much stuff. This week is crazy. Look, when we talked last week, 3Dub, and I was doing like multiple tiers for multiple things. I'm like, we're not going to have anything to talk about on Monday. We're just going to talk about the little bit of Fantastic Four news that I have. And then we'll have to do a bunch of like stuff. But we can't even do that tonight because there was like a Deadline article from Kevin Feige. There was a Hollywood Reporter article from Kevin Feige. There was Matt Shackman from Fantastic Four did an interview with Hollywood Reporter and Deadline. Like, there's red carpet tonight. We might see some stuff pop up as we're streaming from the premiere. There's also
was like, hold my beer.
Reactions we're going to talk about. There's a lot.
Marvel was like, hold my beer. Watch this.
Yeah, I did not expect this much stuff to come out. So we're going to be going over all of it that I can. Okay.
I will mention anything you missed.
All right. Oh, wait, hold on. 3Dub.
Oh, good. You can pay me back now.
Yeah, wasn't Lance already monetized? That's a good point, Jose.
He was half monetized. Well, he was monetized and then half monetized. Now he's fully monetized.
Got it. My interview with Anchorman. I haven't been able to lock in anything. Lock in, is that the right word? Like I said before, I don't have a ton of free time. That's why putting out content for 2 channels, 3 channels, if you count the help that I do with my podcast channel, I am very limited on free time because I also have like an entire job and career outside of YouTube. So I will try and get to it as soon as I can. I want to do it, but I don't think I ever confirmed that, Ethan. Why would I confirm an interview at the exact same time that I do my stream on a Monday? I wouldn't have done that. I would have said I can do it on Monday, but not at a specific time. Not when I normally stream. I wouldn't cancel my podcast to do an interview. I would do that somewhere else.
Apparently, Lance wants you to throw him under the bus with one of his videos and debunk it.
I mean, we can do that here, actually. You can do that on this stream if you want. All right. So the goal tonight is 10 super chats of any tier. And we're going to be coming up with some cool stuff for you guys to pick from. And that'll be used for either an upcoming stream or during the downtime. We've got a lot of downtime coming up. So, yeah. 3Dub, what happened to you? I know. That's what I said.
Tomorrow. It's tomorrow.
Yeah, but you said you weren't going to be here. So a lot of people.
Yeah, it's 5 a.m, so I'm just going to stay up.
Okay. As far as I know, Darren and Jake will be coming into the stream. However, I don't know when. I just know they are. Let's start out with some DC stuff. We got a ton of Marvel stuff, but let's go ahead and start out with some DC stuff. 3Dub. We're going to be looking at some numbers here. So it looks like DC Studios and Warner Brothers Superman is higher with a second weekend of 58.5 million. That's a 53% drop, which is incredible. 10-day running total of 236.2 million. Sunday came in at 18.75 million versus the 17.4 forecast yesterday. So it actually came in above analytic forecast. Worldwide running total continues to soar with 409.3 million. And this was as of this morning.
And it broke even.
So I want to point out that there's a lot of misinformation around Superman. I've seen people trying their best to try and make up and fabricate numbers because they can't really go to the normal stuff. They can't say, oh, critics hated it, so it's bad. Or, oh, fans hated it because it's bad. It got a bad cinema score, so it's bad. It got bad Metacritic score, but it's bad. They can't go to any of the normal stuff. They can't call it woke, even though we have it. There's a whole article where James Gunn talks about that. We might get to that tonight, right? But I have a feeling over the next few days, it will get close, if not past 500 million. Now, that is the number that most people were tossing around as what the studio wanted from the movie. Was it for it to cross 500? And the high end was 700. It could still jog to 600 million plus.
It can still fly.
It could still fly. It could still do that. But I think this movie has proven what DC wants. And the reason why, you guys, is because we're getting news about upcoming projects. We're actually getting updates now. We're getting updates about Wonder Woman. We're getting updates about Supergirl. We're getting updates about stuff that may not be happening. So all of that stuff is coming out now because of the success, the shift from the DCEU to the DCU, the success that DC sees, the success that Warner Brothers sees. So I think that's what we're seeing. We're seeing the effects of that. We're seeing the ramifications of that. By the way, I have a little bit of one of my favorite drinks over here. So I'll be doing some tiny glasses of this while we're streaming. If things go off the rails, you know how that happens. But anyway, I would like to say that I have faith that this movie will go beyond the 500 million. I want to believe that it can, and that the studio will see that as a success story. And I think, honestly, what we need to do moving forward with a lot of movies, a lot of films in general, is sort of reduce what we expect from them financially and just go in and enjoy it for what we want. Go in and enjoy the movie for what it is and not worry about how much money it's going to make. Because if you're worried about how much money, like why do people care so much about how much money a movie makes? That's such a weird thing for me.
Feels like a competition that people like to basically compete in, like say their movies.
It's like basically at this point,
yeah.
you know. Hi, Darren. People were asking about you, and I was like, Darren's coming. He'll be here. They were worried. But this is all good news. A 53% drop from one weekend to the next is, you couldn't ask for better than that from a studio. Like,
and we're going to weekend 3 already.
Yeah.
So like that is incredibly. Yeah.
It also sounds like we're not competing with dinosaurs anymore. It's on.
I actually, considering we have so much Marvel to talk about, I actually pulled numbers for F1 and Jurassic World. And it seems like we might be having a somewhat successful summer for some film franchises. But we might get to those. We have so much, like I keep saying that we have so much to talk about tonight. We just do. That's the reality of it. Yeah. And if you guys want to drop in the chat and add stuff for us to discuss in between segments, remember you can super chat to support the show. And there we go. All right. So, oh, look at Maddie there dropping in with a super sticker. I can see the super sticker on my channel, which is a fantastic. Looks like a little hippo spinning around in an office chair. But StreamYard is stupid and they don't show it. But thank you, Maddie, for the super sticker. I do appreciate it.
I love your
super
picture.
Generous tonight.
Yeah, it's a great super sticker tip there. There's nothing big in August, Sheldor. It's a very dry month for movies. However, we're going to be eating good on TV, so there'll be stuff to talk about.
I'll say this: it's big for families, right? Mm-hmm. Because you have Bad Guys 2, which did relatively well. The first one did fine. Are you okay?
It's finish what you're saying, and then we'll talk about it.
There's Bad Guys 2, which I don't think will be amazing, but I think it'll do okay, and then Freaky Friday 2 as well. So
Freaky Friday 2 looks really cheap, but it'll probably do well because it's an inexpensive movie for them to make.
Yeah,
so
it'll do fine.
I am having a fireball-y drink right now. So
did you burn your mouth?
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah, I have to lock in yours truly for sure. No, I actually wanted something else because we've been like hanging out all night just doing stuff around the house. And I was like, I just want to chill and have something to drink or whatever. And so this was the only thing I had in the house at the moment other than like wine. I didn't want to open a bottle of wine for myself because that's crazy. Yeah, for video games too. You're right, South Texas Shark. Yeah. All right. So I don't know when Jake is going to arrive, but let's go ahead and take a look. Let me pull these up because I'm super excited. Let's take a look at some of the toys coming out for Fantastic Four because the Hot Toys and Funkos both got released. Let's see. At least I thought they did. Oh, here it is right here. All right. Let's take a look at some of these. So this is the Invisible Woman, Herbie, and Franklin Richards Hot Toy here. It's kind of cute. I think Herbie's going to be a big success with kids. My only concern is I don't know if Herbie's going to survive the movie. So I'm like, if something happens to Herbie, that could be really bad.
They could rebuild him, right? Like
so?
He's a low robot. So like you could do Herbie 2.0 or something.
Okay.
R2D2.
I'll take your word for it, only because I think Herbie's going to be a big success with the kids market. All right, what else do we have here? So this is, and I believe this one comes with another head without the beard. So I think it's one with the beard and one without the beard, if I remember correctly. I will say after tonight, I am going on a social media hiatus, though. I will not be reading or looking at anything between now and Thursday because we've already seen a ton of stuff with Fantastic Four. And so I want to go in sort of, I can't say completely clean on this one because we've been dirtied up and muddied up with news and information for a while now. Anyway, here we have, this looks amazing.
That was awesome. Yeah.
This looks absolutely amazing to me. I was really concerned about them making Reed look like his stretching works on a real person. because we know that the only one that's ever really worked, in my opinion, even including the original Fantastic Four movies from the 2000s, honestly, is the moments of brilliance. I can't even speak. The moment of brilliance with the elongated man on the Arrowverse. I think there were times where that looked really, really good. But I was worried in this movie it wasn't going to look right. What I've seen in the previews and what I'm seeing here in the Hot Toys actually looks really good. Again, Herbie, as you can see in the shot there.
Yeah.
They know who's the boss. Here's the whole lineup of them as well.
Awesome.
That looks cool.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this.
I'm definitely going to buy this.
And then we have the Funkos. Let me find the Funko Pops. I think there's a whole there's a shot where you get to see all of them. They come in a 4-pack. I think you can get
That's
all
cool.
together. Let me double check here though. Yeah, right here. Let's do this. So here you go.
Oh, some minis. Okay.
Yeah, these little mini Funkos. This is going to be a big gift thing for this year. I feel like if somebody's a Marvel fan, this is going to be the thing that people are going to be buying for them.
Okay.
You know what's funny is I actually have the OG Galactus Funko, like the actual comic book one they did. So that'll be a lot of fun. Check those out. Kevin Feige kind of spoiled the fate of the Fantastic Four's home. Oh, $5 super chat from Cody. I went through, so let me tell you how I did this. I sent a little rough draft to everybody in the group, and I said, this is kind of the stuff we're going to be talking about tonight. Even after I sent that, I was still pulling quotes from articles because there's so much that came out over the last 4 hours. So I may or may not get to some of this stuff. We're going to talk about everything we possibly can.
Yeah.
But it is I probably missed quotes. So I don't know what's been spoiled and what hasn't been spoiled because there's so much stuff out there.
Yeah, Taz and Lance just spent the last hour and a half just doing Marvel stuff alone. It was just the Marvel quotes from yesterday. It was we didn't even touch a lot of it. So
I was actually there. I just was, not on the stream.
Appreciate you.
I was literally listening to you guys talk while you're recording it. So
Cool.
All right.
Oh no, that was a different thing. That was on my thing.
So this is going to be fun. By the way, that's 1 super chat out of 10 for you guys to get to the goal. Thank you so much, Cody. Appreciate it. So this is an article. So I can't even speak. It's an interview where the person interviewing them apparently. Did you see the clip from this?
I've seen the headline.
We might not watch the whole thing. We're going to watch some of it, but this person interviewing knew nothing about the actors or the story or anything. Basically, he was assigned to do this interview, and instead of doing his own research, he literally told AI to make questions for them. Let's just watch it. This is crazy.
Is this the daddy clip? Is that what this is from? Or
no, I don't think this is. Maybe
separate?
it is.
Okay.
This is a different one. Anyway,
the Furby went into a depression and never woke up again.
No way. Love overload. Famous around the world. Please welcome the Fantastic Four.
How are you both doing? First of all, thank you very much for talking to me.
You're welcome.
Has it been a long day thus
far? Why is it so fast? Did I pitch it up on accident? Oh, I did. I was what the chipmunks? Hold on. All right.
Much for talking to me.
You're welcome.
Has it been a long day thus far?
No, we've actually really enjoyed talking about the film and being with each other.
Well,
He's one of my favorite people in the world.
Yeah.
So it's almost like we've cried.
This is actually so endearing to see the two of them have such great chemistry off screen as well, which makes me very hopeful for what we're going to see in the movie.
Yeah.
We've laughed.
No crying today.
No. We've cried 2 days in a row and now it's back.
Okay, so is that the sign of a good?
Cry outside of England.
Oh, right. Okay. So would it be a good interview if you cried, or I suppose why you've cried? What I do to make you cry?
I tell you what, you get a good interview no matter what happens.
Because you guys are professionals.
Ooh, foreshadowing. Let's go.
You haven't seen me interview.
The four of us will face the danger.
Do you, when you're going to these sorts of things, do you kind of limber up? Do you stretch? And actually, I'm assuming people have been asking you about your stretching regime going into the film. Did you have to?
Not enough.
Did you have to become?
Nobody stretches enough.
No one stretches
unless
enough.
You're like a yoga master.
Yeah. So you didn't have to become actually stretch?
I did. You know, they said, listen.
Everyone, these kinds of questions are so like a waste of time. I know he's trying to be charming and everything, but you could actually ask a legitimate question and still put a joke in there. You know what I mean? Like, this is like the TikTok era of let me ask something stupid so I can get like a 1 minute, 1.5 minute clip.
I think there's like a way of framing that question to make it worthwhile. Of like, okay, like, how did you prepare for a role of Mr. Fantastic? A role that's
why you should be there instead of him, Darren. I think you probably would have came up with a better question. Honestly,
it's up to you.
Yours truly. You'll see if we get to it. I'm going to try and get through the whole thing. But yeah, he admits to it in the interview that he used AI.
Right. But we have machines that we can't guarantee. If you sign this release form, we could try to stretch you.
Yeah.
You know, 10 feet. We could
He's trying to make the best.
If it rips off, it rips off. You know, we could try to put it back together. I said, you know what? I don't think.
No.
I don't want to slow things
But
down.
there is a moment where he gets really stretched, and I cried. Talking of crying, I did cry in that moment.
Oh, now we've got to cry, do we?
What was
No,
it
no.
about seeing Pedro super stretchy that made you?
Oh,
cry?
because he's being hurt.
But
Oh my
being-
goodness.
bad
Like
question. Bad question.
the joke has gone on for too long. You get like 8 minutes with them, and you spend 2 minutes of it on this punchline. Jake has arrived. Everyone, chat. You can cool out now. They were worried about you. They kept asking when you were coming.
Oh,
But, you know.
you guys flatter me. I'm touched.
Yeah. But we're watching this interview here before we get into all the topics where this person admits to using AI because he gets a lot of things wrong in this interview.
Yeah.
Why would you publicly reveal that?
I haven't watched the whole thing, but let's see how it gets there. So it hasn't gotten there yet, but we'll see.
She's talking about a moment of being hurt.
He's being
Right.
hurt. Oh,
Stretched as an actor.
No,
Maybe. Was it that kind of
I'm
stretch?
sorry.
Oh my goodness.
Just-
And that really hurt.
That really hurt. That made her cry.
It's
That was
spiraling
painful to
now.
watch.
Yeah.
What time has it been? No. What time has it been? No, Johnny.
You do all have very different superpowers in the film. It's one of the things that's great about the Fantastic Four. If you were to rate them, though, or rank them from best to least best, because obviously, I mean, invisibility
Okay,
and
fine.
like force fields.
Love.
That's good. That's strong. Stretchy, but also kind of indestructible. Very clever.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
But being on fire and flying,
Yeah.
but then like rocks, like
Yeah.
as a
And
superpower.
being the strongest, like one of the strongest persons in the world.
Yeah, that's true.
Being able
The
to kind of like
strongest.
The
yeah.
strongest.
Yeah.
The
How
vibes
would you
are off.
rank them?
The vibes are off.
What was that, dude?
The whole vibe's off. Like they.
Yeah, something shifted at the end of that last question where it like went from charming to what are we doing here?
I don't want to like. I don't know, like insult someone that's just doing their job and blah blah blah. But
Right.
like, man, like this is
Wait, wait.
something's off. Like
I
they
wouldn't
don't have
say he was-
chemistry.
I
I don't know.
wouldn't say he was doing his job because he basically cheated at the whole.
Well, that aside, yeah. I just don't like insulting people when I don't know if I could do better. It's kind of my basic.
I will say this: my
also,
only issue with what he's doing is that at a certain point it goes off the rails, and he admits to not knowing what he's doing by using AI, and that's a little like.
It also doesn't sound like he knows what he's talking about
So
here.
if you
Like,
use AI,
it's like
if you're using AI knowingly if you don't have that deep of a knowledge about what you're talking about, and if you're clear about that, then that's one thing. But if you try and use AI to, spin a false narrative or put on a persona that, gives them the message that you know more than you do, but that you're trying to say something is something that it's not, that's when AI just gets it, when it just goes too far.
Yeah. Well, also, I've said this before. Like, I think things like Grok and Chat GBT and all these other AIs are really good with menial organizational tasks. Like, if you have a bunch of things that you want to do, you tell it, "Hey, organize this for me and give me like a good format on this or whatever." It's good at doing that. But when you're using it to create generative stuff like questions for actors and stuff like that, you have to double and triple check everything it does because it pulls from things that may not be reliable sources. And that's
it
the problem.
And it could compound back on itself too.
Right.
And
Yeah,
like when you said that this was like a AI interview, my first thought is like I thought that was the like narrative, that was his little game that he was going to do with the cast. Was like, hey, I pulled up this like AI questions.
Mhm.
Can you tell me how good they are? Because it is a movie about like the future and like
Right.
robots and stuff like that. Like I feel like there's a
If you're
fun
transparent
twist.
about it and that's what you're doing, you can say that. Like you could
You
Yeah,
honestly
it's
should have
like-
done
Right,
that.
if you're
AI
clear
back
about
to
that,
real
then
or
that's
something.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see where he goes with this.
Oh, if you were going to put them in order from best to worst.
I love the force field disappearing act. I just love it. I love
think
it.
everyone likes. I think everyone likes that, to be
Mhm.
honest. But it's a tie with flying, isn't it? People have said.
Yeah, but then
Yeah.
but you fly and you're on fire.
Yeah, but
That's
you can
like,
still-
he doesn't fly if he's not on fire.
Yeah, it's not like he could romantically take someone.
But
on
he
like a
does
spin.
carry people when
does,
he
but-
makes his front less hot.
Only
he
because
seems to.
Yeah.
no,
You
it's
know?
not something he does. It's the suit that I have built.
That's
Genius
fine.
himself.
Genius, yeah.
How are we feeling, fam? How are we feeling about this right now?
He makes his front less hot.
By the way, we're
Oh.
almost halfway through his time with them, and this is what he's chosen to like.
He hasn't asked any genuine questions yet.
Right.
Yeah.
The
That's
real
what it is.
superpower is your
It's
brain.
like-
Otherwise,
Anti-blam.
he'd be hurry. It's all
It's an
my
anti-flammable
tinkering and
Yeah.
Yeah,
inventing that
Yeah.
has made it so that he can zoom around all
I
over
think
the
people
place.
to
No
rate them. I think
thanks I've been
generally
given.
speaking, I think Johnny's and Sue's are tied. I think yours is next. I think people. The only reason people find the Ben thing hard is
Mm.
because that's his struggle, right? Like
Yes.
that's his beautiful existential,
Yeah.
metaphorical.
But then if you think about just going for a run and
In a-
just
in a conflict.
smashing straight
What are
through
we
every
doing
single
here?
wall.
They're
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
carry this interview on their back.
Wouldn't it?
It's almost like they're making fun of the dumb questions.
Punch holes in
Right,
everything.
because the questions
get
are
out of
dumb.
this
So they're
interview
like,
like
hey,
that.
if you
Yeah,
make
like
fun of
pick
it,
up-
it'll be fine.
Pick
Yeah.
up cars and throw them just
Mm.
for miles.
fun?
Mm.
Great.
I herald his beginning. I herald your end.
I herald
So you
the
did a lot
brain
of the
rot.
filming in the UK,
A lot.
and you filmed in Durdle Door in Dorset. I mean, is that right? On the Jurassic Coast?
That was Joseph, and that was Joseph.
Oh,
Finn.
you
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
It wasn't
weren't
us.
Oh,
Yeah, we
there.
looked black
Oh, we
through
weren't
there.
there.
Yeah.
We went-
Oh my goodness.
Look at Pedro's face.
He's like, what the fuck are you asking?
Oh, that's something
It's a-
I would do though. That's a mistake I'd make.
Oh.
It's a good thing
Holy
these two have
shit.
charisma.
All right. Let's
That's
see where we go.
embarrassing.
Let's see what happens.
That's
Right.
We did.
That's a great freeze frame.
AI is not the tool I thought it was for.
well, why would you?
Dude, you're
Oh,
digging
hold
your
on.
own grave.
Let's go back and follow this all the way through without pauses. Here we go.
And that was Joseph.
Oh,
Finn.
you
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
It wasn't
weren't
us.
Oh,
Yeah, we looked at you
No,
blankly
we weren't
there.
there.
Yeah,
We went
right.
We did what?
AI is not the tool I thought it was for
No.
writing
Yeah,
questions.
yeah.
We did go to
That's,
northern Spain.
beautiful.
All four of us.
Inside of a
part of the
building.
world.
No?
Yeah.
Oh, outside.
It's true.
They had to take over the Q&A part because he didn't know what he was talking about.
Oh my god.
Why admit to that? Why? Why? It's. I know why. It's to like shift the blame. Like, oh, it's not my fault. It's
Right.
AI.
But then it's still your fault because you used the
It's-
AI.
literally your job. It is your job to do your research and ask good questions. That is what they are paying you to do.
Think about this. You
A
have
little bit
you
of
have
this.
possibly maybe 5 questions you can get into like an 8-minute interview very quickly with
Mhm.
these guys. And you can't even sit down as your job and come up with 5 questions. You have to let AI do it for you.
Even like basic ones.
Because now if you think about it, his first 2 questions make sense. Because if he went into like AI and said, "Hey, give me 5 questions for the cast of Fantastic
Fantastic
Four,"
Four, yeah.
the first 2 make sense. What was it like being stretchy? What would you rank your powers? Like all of these seem like things that AI would come up with. All right, let's see how this ends.
So Durdle Door, you've never been.
What is
That's one for
Joseph?
Joseph Quinn.
Move
So
on.
what's Durdle Door? It's a beautiful beach on the Jurassic Coast.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. In that part of Dorset, there are lots of places with good names.
In the Jurassic.
Huddletown, that's around there in Dorset. These sorts of
He's doing this because he had a bit That's it. All of these names and stuff for this town. This was the follow up to that.
Yeah.
So now he doesn't know where to go from here because he's already committed to do. Because watch, if you notice, he's leading them here. Like he goes, okay,
Yeah.
I followed up with Chat GPT for the next question, for the follow up to that question, and they didn't go there.
It's a beautiful
Yeah.
beach on the Jurassic Coast.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. In that part of Dorset, there are lots of places with good names.
In the Jurassic.
Puddletown, that's around there in Dorset. These sorts of places you'd like
How
to
easy
go.
is it to get to?
How easy it's
Couple
Puddletown?
of hours.
Yeah, a couple of hours. You thinking
Is there a train?
this is a train?
All
Get the
right.
train down to Dorchester
I
Is there
love
a
a
train?
train.
Can
And
you
then
hit
hop
me
off.
with it?
and go
Love.
check out the Jurassic Coast.
That'd be great if they give
One
us
day
enough
off.
time on
Yeah.
this press tour.
He's off the turtle door.
Yeah.
That's where Pedro's
I'm
gone.
sorry?
The thing
Oh,
is,
he's
the
getting
internet would
annoyed.
love that if you went off to Durdle Door.
Oh,
love
you
to.
need to eat it.
Yeah.
I've been out
That's
to Margate.
expensive.
trying to look.
We will protect you.
You can tell
Whoa.
Pedro's getting annoyed.
So my question is, like, you have all of these reporters that would love to sit down and talk about
Yes.
this movie that genuinely want to speak to the actors,
And then
Yeah.
know
and you
what they're
give it to
talking
somebody
about.
that can't be bothered to do anything more than go
This-
with AI.
No,
Those guys
no,
actually
this
know what they're talking about too.
this pisses me off, and like I think this stuff pisses me off even more, and Jake can probably process this. We have friends that do this as a job, or like want this as a job. This would be their dream, is to be doing this, and they could do a million times better. I
Right.
know they could, and
Yeah.
these opportunities are given to,
I've seen them do it.
let's be honest, clowns
Yeah.
who don't give a shit about what they are doing.
Right.
They just want to out.
They want to do a bad job. They don't do it because they enjoy like interviewing people and like asking questions and getting to they ask these stupid questions to get TikTok likes and
Right.
to, like, create a headline, and I hate it. I
Preach,
I
Darren,
really
preach.
really do. Fuck.
I mean, I could go on like a 5-minute rant about this, but it's just going to be expanding all of what you said, and I really don't want to give this any more attention than it deserves.
Yeah.
The internet can't decide whether it wants you to be boyfriend, daddy,
Yeah.
dad.
It is
or
the daddy
just-
one.
It is. It was from this interview. Hold on, let's restart this. This was the guy that did that.
The internet can't decide whether it wants you to be boyfriend, daddy, dad, or just best friend. Now, in the film, you play a real life couple, right? What kind of husband
Real life?
would Pedro make?
Oh my god, are you kidding?
Did he go method? Was he cooking? Were you just bickering all
Did
the
you
time?
see his face
was
when
the
he
kind
asked
of
that?
dynamic?
Hold on.
Did you see Pedro's face when he asked that? He
Let's go
looked
back.
at Vanessa-
Look at him.
He looked at Vanessa and went, "Did he fucking just ask that?"
Okay, let's run this again and keep an eye on Pedro's face.
Wants you to be boyfriend, daddy, dad, or just best friend. Now, in the film, you play a real life couple, right?
Right
What
there.
kind of husband would Pedro make?
Oh my god, are you
Right
kidding?
there.
Did he go method? Was he cooking? Were you just bickering all the time? What was the kind of dynamic?
No, I mean, who wouldn't want to marry Pedro? I'm like first in the line, darling.
I could give you a long list.
But luckily I'm back to it, so I know what it's like now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the best ever.
Mm.
Just it's not like there's no smoke without fire.
And with this guy's an absolute smoke show. So
Yeah, exactly.
there's a lot of smoke
It's
wafting around.
smoking.
Yeah, amazing.
Look at the two of us and decide who's smoking.
Oh my god, this is such a cringy interview. And
We
I don't
have a
blame
thing on our
them.
show that I do really awkward interviews. I think that one wasn't too
No, it was
bad.
great.
It was all right.
It was,
I mean,
it was
Oh my
it's short. The
God.
questions were unbelievably painfully generic, but
But did
that's
you
my
fail
job.
if it wasn't awkward?
No, I
Okay.
think the aim is for it not to be awkward, but I
Oh,
thought it'd be
good.
nice to like.
So wait.
Whose fault is that?
So yeah, he said it's like a thing on his show to do awkward interviews. He goes, but the aim is not to be awkward, or maybe you shouldn't be doing the interviews then.
He said the questions were generic. It's like, that's your own
Then
fucking
write
fault.
better questions.
That's your own fault. Write better questions with a pencil than with a fucking computer.
And now he's going to give them gifts. What are in these bags?
Don't want to
What?
know.
Okay, let's see.
And I thought I could butter you up. I should have done this at the start with a gift.
Yeah. Butter us.
You can
But-
put a gift at the end is
But
works.
well, and then I slept. So I got these yesterday, and then I thought this is terrible.
No,
Basically,
don't
well,
be
I thought
embarrassed. Don't
I
be
thought it would
cringe.
be
There's nothing
good.
You can't.
Oh, I'm
you can't be
cringing.
cringe.
Oh, I'm very judgmental.
Yeah,
I'm not.
you're
So-
cringing. You're cringing all the way
Cuts
through. I thought it'd be good to
I
give
just want
Vanessa
it.
Kirby.
Isn't this a little weird? I mean, is this
Yeah.
normal for somebody to
Get
come on
to
an
the-
interview and like give them personal gifts if
Sometimes.
you're like?
I mean,
Sometimes.
it's happened, but I mean, get to the goddamn point. Like, you're
Usually
beating
it's
around the
more
bush.
like a personal thing. It's like, hey, I drew, like my daughter
Mm.
drew this, and I want, or something
Right.
like, or like,
Or like-
I drew a piece of art or something.
right, or like
Yeah.
here's a pin of your character. It's
Right.
Be a Furby.
Oh yeah.
Because now they have to
Kirby a
carry
Furby.
around all the
Kirby a
Furby.
Furby.
Vanessa Kirby a Furby, and then I
Okay.
There's
thought
also
you
a toy
won.
called a Kirby.
It's a Furby.
Poster.
you got her a
Really?
fucking
Yeah.
Furby.
Sounds like
You
fun.
And
How
I got
weird
this
is
one as
this?
well, Pedro, because that's purple
That's
for Pedro. That's how I
bullshit.
knew which one was in which.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect. You know that.
Yeah, you can wear that as a
Oh,
cravat,
no.
Mr. Fashion. Oh my god, it matches the socks. So if you press the top, then they should like speak to you and stuff.
Wait a minute.
He's leopard print guy.
Do you know, are these back?
Yeah,
Because these
press his head, press the top of his fur. What do you think?
are these back? These
I
were
don't know.
very
I don't
popular
know.
in the
Yeah, they are in where I live in East London. They're
Hickory.
super trendy. Yeah.
Furbies are really making a comeback.
They're Furbies, aren't they?
They're fur-
Fucking Furbies. Oh my god.
Because it sounds like Herbie.
I hate that. That's probably right.
Well, I think that's what he said. I think he said
Yeah, it
Furby because
is.
it sounds like Herbie. But my issue is you have a time with them, and this is what you end up doing for your 8 minutes.
Ugh. Man, I'm gonna need something a little stronger than coffee if we're gonna keep having to deal with this.
All right. No. We're not. This was just, I thought that'd be a good icebreaker to get into the news.
Oh,
But,
dude, you like, it's a whole meltdown. There's no ice left.
All right. We got a $5 super chat from Super Jones Bro. Thank you for the $5. Gary's, as in Nerdrotic, in case anybody's wondering, Gary's fellowship claims to be above woke NPC behavior. Okay. Yet his diehard fans regurgitate the same brain rot takes. The fellowship equals true NPCs. That's one of the reasons why I started talking out about a lot of that stuff, is because they would come into my comment section and just repeat stuff that these guys would say. And I got tired of it because I don't believe that they are as smart as they say they are to their viewers. Because they have like a script that they do. So yeah, I like calling that out. I actually did a video on Critical Drinker today while I'm drinking right now, by the way, which I probably had a little bit too much.
By the way, how's
And
your
we're just
brain
starting the
after
stream,
that?
So
I probably need a. I
How's
probably
your
need
brain
more.
after that?
how did I wait? Hold on, I heard two people talking.
How's your brain after the watching Critical Drinker?
Well, it was earlier today, so it's much better now.
I did see it.
Yeah, Naruto for member for 40 bucks says, seeing Fantastic Four on Sunday with my brothers. Excited to see the what time has it been seen in theaters. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
The format's going to be the same this week, so I'll do a spoiler-free first thoughts on Fantastic Four on Thursday, and then on Monday it'll be a stream dedicated to the spoiler review for anybody that's seen it. And we're going to be joined by Glimmercast for the first time. She's going to be joining us that night.
I won't have seen it until Friday afternoon.
I will have
Okay.
seen it by Thursday.
Okay.
There you go.
All right, so we're just going to go ahead. I've got a ton of stuff to talk about, so let me get the list over here ready. All right, let's
I
start
get early
out.
access to MK2 though.
Let's start out with our first segment. I had to break these up into segments because there's so much stuff.
you
Kevin Feige did a bunch of interviews, so these are going to be a bunch of quotes from him, and then we're going to talk about these quotes. So when talking about Fantastic Four, he says it's a no homework required. Go see the movie. It's literally not connected to anything that was made before. It kicks off phase 6. Okay, so you don't have to know anything going into this movie. I think they needed to hammer this home a bit more. I don't think they did a good job of advertising it that way. Is that fair?
100%. No, I mean, I think I've said it on here before, but like I had friends like when that trailer first dropped. It's like, okay, so where in the timeline does Fantastic Four sit? It's like, is this a prequel? Is this a, whatever? It's like, well, no, it's a separate thing. It was like,
Right.
but I thought it was an MCU movie. It can't be, so like that concept is still I don't think people understand that yet, and maybe they could have done better. And again, like this might be a thing where people don't see it until after the word of mouth hits. You know, a lot of the like TikTok and that kind of audience is like, oh, it's a good one. All right, I'm gonna go check that out. But yeah, I definitely agree that maybe there should have been a better distinction, and I'm curious to see how they open it up. Do they explain what we're doing?
So the problem is that the marketing did what we just watched. Like there was nobody was asking them these questions. Like, so they didn't really have a chance to discuss it because you had people giving them Furbies and using Chat GPT.
That kind of reminds me of what the first, to go on to Darren's point, what the first Guardians did when it came out, because like when it released, it kind of released in its own isolated side of the Marvel universe, and that way, if it didn't end up going good, then they can just leave it alone on its own little separate quadrant. And then they connected it to the stuff later on. And like this is going to be, I assume, done in somewhat of a similar way, where it's releasing in its own little section, and they're going to, obviously connect it to the bigger picture coming into those.
There's actually some information about that here in the article, so it kind of clears that up a little bit. So he goes on to say it's our 37th MCU film, and yet really the first standalone we've done since Iron Man.
That's not true at all.
Fucking bullshit.
That's not true.
That's a quote from Kevin Feige, though. That's from him.
That's not true at all, though. That's flat out not true.
Captain America: The First Avenger, Thor. I mean,
I would say everything in Phase 1 could be viewed as a standalone movie because it didn't connect anything directly at that point.
Guardians, I'd argue Captain Marvel.
Doctor Strange.
I'd even argue Deadpool and Wolverine.
I was about to say Deadpool and Wolverine.
Like
Doctor Strange is a standalone.
Omega has arrived.
I guess they mean like. I mean, I would assume it would mean without setting up a big event, but they are setting up a big event. I assume. Are we not setting up Doomsday in this movie?
Like they're gonna lead into that.
I assume so.
I mean, they should have been planting those seeds long before now, but here we are.
So my issue with I've got a couple of issues with this. By the way, welcome Omega.
Yes, I agree, Ronan.
I got a few issues with this. One is that whether or not it is a standalone movie, it doesn't matter because it's going to lead into the shared universe.
Yeah.
Right? So the very next thing we get with them is going to be a group film with all the Avengers and probably the X-Men. So we're going to end up with a movie with a bunch of combined stuff. So not knowing, him saying you don't need homework to get into this movie, well, that's not going to matter as soon as we go into the next film because you're going to have to know all the stuff about those characters.
Right.
So I give him credit for trying to do that, but it doesn't really seem to resonate when the very next film is going to be the biggest Avengers movie ever made.
It's just trying to get any extra
for a year anyway.
Like it's just because what we're seeing right now is Superman is doing very well because it's a standalone thing. Yeah. You need to know nothing going into Superman. You don't need to do any quote unquote homework. Just go in there and have a good time. And I think that's something that the MCU has been struggling with for a very long time. There has, for the last 10 years at least, been a barrier to entry for the MCU. There are people that I have not seen the last 20, 30 projects.
We're going to get to that. He addresses his way of correcting that later when we get to it. All right. So it says, everything you need to know about the Fantastic Four you learn in the first 10 minutes of the film. We wanted them to be apart from our reality, so it is a no homework required. That is okay. So I think he's saying that because there's been this negative connotation around the term homework, and I've raged about this many, many, many times. I don't think of it as homework because I love all of the stuff that I'm engaging with. So for me, that's not homework, right? But I know that there is a narrative around that word.
Well, my thing is this: why does it feel the need to catch you up in the first 10 minutes and explain everything rather than just letting the movie do that over the course of its runtime?
Because I don't think the Fantastic Four are brand new by the time we meet them. I think he means in the sense that they've had their powers for a while.
All right, I think they're established, but I don't think you need to go the, spoilers, I guess, route of another movie where you just throw a bunch of Star Wars style text up on the screen telling you what happens. You can just.
Do you think that's what they're going to do? Do you think that's what's going to happen?
I hope not, personally. If they can just fill in the gaps through like
Mhm.
carefully placed lines of dialogue here and there, that I think does it much better.
Yeah. I mean, I've pitched, I think Fantastic Four might have a little Watcher cameo to be like, this does not take place on the Earth that you know, or something just to like
And
The
run down
Watcher,
people.
or maybe if you want to tie into the whole Avengers movies that are happening later,
right.
I've been predicting the Beyonder.
Maybe.
I actually think we're also going to see a situation where this might be the word of mouth thing, where people see it that first weekend and they tell their
Yes.
friends, like, you don't have to know anything, you can go enjoy it, have
Yeah.
fun, whatever, and then people will go see it that second weekend. Because the truth is, this movie's going to have at least 4 to 5 weeks of really not much competition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
comes
'Cause
out
in August,
Um,
there's like nothing.
right.
Do we know the budget? Is that like 200 million? Is that what
I
this
think
is?
it was a little bit less than that, actually.
Okay.
Let's see.
I believe it was like 180 to 200 is what they said.
That's not bad for Fantastic Four. Like,
Rumored to be
similar.
north of 200 million.
Rumored, right? Unless there's a literal like statement from Marvel and Disney, then I don't buy that.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I mean, I think similarly to Superman, that's one of the superhero movies. I was like, yeah, that can have a little bigger of a budget. Those are characters that are made. They're like, there's a lot of special effects that need to be done with Fantastic Four.
Right.
Yeah.
Comparatively to like Thunderbolts and Captain America, it's like, why are the budget so high?
Also, want to point out that the Fantastic Four embraces a completely fresh, retro-futuristic 1960s aesthetic on Earth 828. So we have a designated Earth number.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how much that matters in the actual
Right.
context of the film, but it's
Yeah.
not on the main continuity Earth, obviously. It
They've been
says that-
throwing out Earth names in these movies before, and they haven't really mattered.
Yeah. And the film echoes Stanley and Jack Kirby's original comic book intention of a family-centric, character-driven story of outsiders. That's the vibe of the movie. Also, for cross-reference, Feige's no homework mantra is echoed in James Gunn's Superman approach, as you were talking about, Darren. Standalone origin tales for new audiences. I wouldn't say it's an origin. I mean, it is an introduction, but I don't know if it's an origin story. The retro future vibe also sets it apart from the typical modern superhero affair, which would be a big discussion point for fans. I know a lot of people have talked about this. I think making it a sort of it's retro futurism, but putting it in the 60s and giving it that sort of time period does make it different and interesting in a way that we haven't seen in recent superhero movies.
I mean, leaving aside the fact that it's a superhero movie, just look at the aesthetic and the vibe and the tone that the film has overall.
Yeah.
You don't really get movies made in that way anymore, so it's kind of an anomaly just in that aspect. Like leaving aside the comic property, just that tone, that overall vibe you get from the film, the soundtrack that kind of sets the style of the movie.
So
you don't really get ones like that anymore.
Marisu, it's like retrofuturism. So think like not quite the Jetsons, but in that vibe. I know that's probably dating me a little bit, but like we're talking about like old school sci-fi mixed with like a 19
like those pulp sci-fi book covers from like the 60s and early 70s or so.
What futurism was thought to be back then?
Actually, the entire cast from like all the other movies, I think, are supposed to have cameos in the movie, like in background scenes, like all the.
Well, even the cast from the Roger Corman movie were invited to the premiere, which I thought was really cool.
But I've heard, I don't know if it's true or not, but I've heard they all have like background cameos in this movie. So
did you hear who attended the premiere tonight?
I mean, there's a lot. I tried to bookmark some of it, but who were you thinking of?
Frank Grillo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was really funny.
After talk shit about Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
He's
you
a
know what?
cameo, I don't know.
He's like, I don't work with you guys anymore.
Imagine if Crossbones was a fantastic.
Yeah. A couple of things to talk about before we move on to the next part is what do we think no homework means for longtime fans? Do you think that's going to be a detriment, or do you think it's going to matter at all? Because we've watched everything MCU multiple times, and I'm okay with like this sort of jump off point for the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it won't matter in about a year, like year and a half. But like, I think for a movie like this is fine. This works. I think this is a strategy. I think long term is going to be very helpful for some of these movies. I think doing a lot more. I think finding that balance is what's going to be important. Is like creating these standalone stories that feel connected to a larger narrative. I think finding that balance. I think something like, like I think something like Ant-Man does that really well, because that's a movie that really feels like it's part of a larger world, but you don't need to experience any of the other larger world to love that movie. So I think something like that would
I mean,
kind of
to
be
be
cool.
fair, until
Doctor
like
Strange kinda works that
until the
same way.
crossover happens, Guardians feels like it's in a separate little bubble.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said too, like whenever before Strange gets brought into the world, he kind of feels standalone too.
Yeah, you can say that. Let's see what else I have over here in my notes. Oh, do we think this is a blueprint for future MCU films? Like, are they going to do more standalone movies like this, or do you think this is just for this one movie?
Sort of.
So standalone, not so. Yes and no to that. I would like to see more of them kind of adapt their own unique style, because the early MCU films leading up to the Avengers, they all kind of had their own unique style, and then when you got to the Avengers, it was a blend of all those unique styles. Too much alcohol, Eric?
Oh,
what are you drinking?
it starts with fire, it ends with ball.
Nice. No,
it's not my favorite, but it was all I had at the time. So
okay. I'm about to say, I knew you got better taste than that.
I have tons of better taste. This was specifically for a party.
I have a thing over there. It starts with new and ends with Amsterdam.
All right,
no,
so let's go ahead, finish what you're saying.
Like I think they'll have their own standalone styles, but won't feel so disconnected from the plot.
Right.
I think also what we might be leaning to is like individual franchise stories that aren't necessarily like a big, 7, like all of them coming together. And I think that will happen. But I think like X-Men will feel self-contained in the X-Men franchise. And that's like
Guardians.
7 movies straight. And then you could do like, I think the Avengers, I think you could do a series of Avengers that's just them and them going on their adventures. Fantastic Four, same thing. Like you can just travel their own individual storyline in the end,
And I tell you what, we've got some X-Men updates, and I'm sure Jake is ready to talk about that, and I'm sure Mega's going to want to talk about that for sure. I mean, there's a lot.
What's the X-Men?
All right. So the next part is the friendly rivalry between James Gunn and Kevin Feige here. So Kevin Feige, these are going to be the quotes. Almost all these start out with Kevin Feige quotes. There's so many from today.
I thought it was about to say James Gunn and Zack Snyder. I was like, again?
Yeah, again. It's clearly not superhero fatigue, right? I liked it a lot. You just jump right into it. David Cornsweet was awesome. James and I texted. I said how much I love the movie. He said wouldn't exist without you guys.
Aww.
That's
was nice there. And what this does is this dismisses the fatigue rumors, which I still think is a fallacy. I think we're dealing with a cinema fatigue. Like I think there's a lot of other movies that are underperforming. Superhero movies are just the most noticeable because they typically are the big blockbuster movies.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of films that are suffering across the board. F1 is also not.
People just aren't watching movies nowadays.
Right.
That's simple.
Yeah.
We need to have a whole stream about that at some point because there's so much we can talk about.
Because you don't have to wait 3 months to access it anymore like you used to.
Yeah. Let's see. So do we think that the MCU success over the years has influenced the broader superhero genre in this new DC world? Like, do we feel like because of that statement from James that he's acknowledging that the MCU is the gold standard for a lot of stuff, really, when it comes to superhero media?
I mean, they're Goliath.
I don't even know if I'd say just superhero media, because a lot of these franchises and IPs that you don't think could contain their own sort of big joint together franchise have been trying to replicate it. They tried to do it with Scoob, for God's sakes. Like, you don't think that sort of thing would happen.
Monsterverse.
That was influenced by Marvel.
Yeah, I mean, I think the MCU has become the like Goliath of the film industry, and I feel like everyone's either wanting to be them or take them down. So I mean, like I do think they're kind of the goalpost, and so much of like the Superman discourse, I have personally very much disliked as someone who loves Superman. Like I hate when like
who
you're like I hate when you're review of the movie is either this is better than Snyder or this is better than Marvel. And it's like, why do we have to do that? Why? Like,
It can exist
like
on its own, yeah.
Why does it matter if one thing's better?
Yeah.
So yeah, like I definitely think that's a narrative that many people are going into this new DC universe. But I mean, I think DC doing well is just going to help Marvel.
Yeah.
Because again, for like many years, they were this like Kevin said, like in this interview, they were this like untouchable monster, this like untouchable, juggernaut of a thing that no one could take down. Now they can. Now they have competition. MCU isn't what it used to be, and I think that's going to help them inside the long run, because when you're comfortable, you make mistakes. That's just how it goes.
Right.
So,
shout out to Ronan in the chat, by the way. Ronan Unchained in the chat. Good to see you.
Hey, buddy.
What's up, Ronan?
Before we move on, I do want to say that the friendly rivalry between the two of them I think is going to be beneficial for all fans.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going to see a competition in quality that's going to elevate both studios.
Yeah.
That's what I believe. Because you'll see James Gunn show up at like Marvel events. You'll see Kevin Feige show up at DC events. I think it's good. I think it's a good rivalry, in my opinion. All right. Let's talk about his comments on Blade, because I think this is quite interesting.
Oh, boy.
So he says, and I quote, "You can start and have a good script and make a great script through production, but we didn't feel confident we could do that on Blade." He's talking about all of the script rewrites they had. "We didn't want to put a leather outfit on him and have him start killing vampires. It has to be insanely great."
That's all we want.
That's how the first Blade starts.
That's all the first one is. It's just Wesley Snipes in black leather killing people. It was great. That's all you need.
Says, after years of development in limbo, Marvel is prioritizing quality and character depth over rushing Blade to market, setting Blade in present day, because they moved it. It was going to be a period piece, but Sinners killed that for him because it did such a good job, and they actually used sets and costumes.
Yeah, all the stuff they
Blade
were going
movie.
to use for that movie, they just used.
It says here that Mahershala Ali is still connected to this.
Yeah, he is. I have defended this for a couple months now, in terms of like, everyone's like, it's never coming out. I've said it. I've said it is. I think they know how important Blade is. Blade is one of the like founding, Marvel movies. This is for many people, like this is what Marvel is, and I kind of disagree a little bit. I don't think you could just put out some cheap, lazy movie about Blade just killing people, because I think he's a very important character. I think he's a character people cherish very dearly. I think it's the equivalent of putting out a bad Spider-Man movie or like a bad Batman movie. Like, he is important to people, and I think Kevin Feige knows that, and that's why I think amongst all of these very bad Marvel movies that we got during Phase 4 and 5, they were like, no, we can't do that for Blade 2. Let's get this right. That's why there's 4 different drafts of it, and that's why they're waiting until after Secret Wars to be like, no, let's take our time. Let's make a genuinely good movie. And I think the same people that are like quality over quantity, or quality, are the same people that just make some Blade movies. Like, no, that's not what you want. You don't want just some Blade movie. You want the best Blade movie that they could possibly make. They want the best writers, the best actors, the best scripts, the best special effects. That's what Blade deserves, in my opinion. And hopefully this is them trying to give that to him.
Do we still
If you take that attitude, then you get another Blade Trinity.
I honestly want some like real answers on this, because I feel like people don't want to speak on it. But do we think Mahershala is still the right choice for Blade?
By the time they get around to it, he could probably age out.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I would like to say yes, but I'm having doubts.
The only reason I'm asking that is because we're going to get to a point where Kevin Feige talks about the future of the MCU. And I think it doesn't bode well for people in that old school range.
If you're looking to have your movie star a half vampire that doesn't age, having somebody that's like 50, probably going to be in his mid 50s by the time this releases, doesn't exactly display that.
Yeah, he's
Isn't he now older than what Wesley Snipes was when he first played?
Yeah,
Blade?
they're about the same.
Much older than when he started.
Blade isn't a. I do think Blade is also a character though that doesn't necessarily need to be around forever, right? Like he's a character that I see maybe getting a trilogy at most, and then taking another break from him for a couple years or whatever. So if that's truly what they want, I think they'll make it work. I think it'll be fine. But I also understand the fear.
I just want to point out we're going to get to a point in my notes here where you'll understand why I'm asking this question.
Yeah,
we'll get there in a minute. A lot of people in the chat. Look, I don't mind. I think he's an amazing actor, and I think in the current Marvel setup, he could totally be Blade. But where they're going with the Marvel universe after the Avengers films, it'll bring up a question on whether or not that's the right choice.
Yeah, especially if, I mean, granted, this hasn't been outright confirmed yet, but if you're going to have your next saga of Marvel movies be largely mutant dominated, if it's, the supposed mutant saga that they're going into, if that's to be believed, where does Blade fit into that?
Exactly. That's a good question. Also want to point out we are 1 out of 10 super chats. I have it set to any tier tonight. So literally $9 total in super chats would get us to the goal. So if you guys ever wanted to support the stream at the lowest tier possible, just because I know money is tight for people, you can do that with just $1. So it's entirely up to you guys.
YouTube is killing this channel.
Right. I mean, they're shadow banning me. I'm not getting any traction anymore.
Speaking candidly about these topics has really put him in.
If you would like to feed someone who eats a lot, you can give me.
He's about to lose his house.
$1
Yes,
a day.
cancer.
What? Yeah, exactly.
Damn, Omega's like your best PR man right here.
He is 100%. Last question about Blade, then we're going to move to the next segment. Do we think a modern day setting is what's best for Blade right now? Do we think this is what we should be doing, or would we prefer like a period piece, like 70s, 60s, 80s, 90s? What do we think?
I think the time is less. So I think the when is less important than the where.
Okay. So you think location is more important than time?
Yeah, because you have places that look like they have plenty of age and ancient history to them that still look the way that they do in current day, and you could set Blade in somewhere like that and have it work plenty well. Because look what happened. I'm just going to use this as an example. The way that you saw Blade portrayed in the Spider-Man 90s cartoon, it was in current time around then, but a lot of the settings and where you saw Blade when he wasn't interacting with Spider-Man, like whenever he was on his own little quest, that place had a very dated look.
So do you have a place in mind when you say that, like where you would like to see Blade, like location wise?
Asgard.
I mean, this sounds this sounds like cliche as hell, but if they wanted to do like Transylvania or something.
Oh, so you mean like a Blade in Transylvania?
Yeah, it sounds cliche as hell, but
no. I mean, I think that sounds crazy to me. Like good crazy.
I kind of want like basically a Paris kind of setting where it kind of comes off as Jack the Reaper.
Jason, you're speaking my language. Like if I were gonna pick a period, I would totally do Blade in the 80s and put it in like New York or Detroit or somewhere like that. I think that would be amazing.
I'm going to be curious. I'm going to be curious because this is never
originals.
like this side of the MCU has never been incredibly explored in the MCU. This is also going to be a post-Secret Wars world, so we are going to re-examine what is the lore of the MCU and like what is the supernatural side of the MCU, and I think in a very interesting way. I'm still not totally unconvinced this is going to be the first like project of Phase 7. Like I could see this maybe being the jumping on point potentially. So that's I think what I am very excited about. Just like the world building of it all. Like okay, if it's in present day, are vampires just walking around in like modern day MC? That's going to be the interesting. Like is it like vampires and scrolls and robots just kind of like wandering around? It's going to be interesting.
Oh, I just thought about something.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Like tinfoil outside the box theory here. But what if somehow they take characters from Blade's lore, like say, Deacon Frost, their interpretation of Dracula. What if they tie those in to people like Blackheart and Mephisto? And then have those be a connective tie that makes Blade relevant to the whole saga. If they end up using, presumably if they end up using Mephisto more than, what's been shown now. We see any any feasibility with that.
Yeah. All right, so
one last
yeah,
thing I'll
go
say
ahead.
is like they could possibly, now this is just kind of a long shot, they could possibly tie it in with the mutants, because I do remember there was during the Krakoa era, Dracula and the rest of the vampires were trying to go into Krakoa because they were sort of kind of, but that's like Krakoa's like far.
Yeah, I don't think they should tackle that yet.
Yeah, I don't know if they really go. That was kind of a thought that just popped in.
There is, again, we're going to get to it, but there's an interesting thing they're planning on doing with the MCU. I actually think we don't even need to do that. I think we have enough characters that we have not explored that we could totally just continue the MCU and introduce like classic characters, the X-Men lore.
Yeah.
And we know this. There are decades and decades and decades of stories you could tell with the X-Men that would keep the MCU running for another 20 years.
I was going to say, like, that's enough to be its own long-running franchise.
It is, 100%. There's also a lot of characters that have been on the Avengers that have not been explored yet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, that's the reality of it. All right, so let's talk about budget stuff. This is really interesting. So Kevin Feige said that Marvel executives met with the teams behind the 2023 sci-fi epic The Creator, in which director Gareth Edwards made for a staggeringly low $80 million, which, by the way, that movie looks amazing if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
It's an amazing looking movie. He did it for $80 million. They're trying to figure out how they pulled it off. And then he says, I think everybody's in that state of mind. I think it has to get better. Is AI going to do that? I don't know. I would like to think not. So I think he's reaching out to people that worked with Gareth Edwards to bring that cost down, but still keep it like a human being doing the work, essentially.
They're trying to figure out how I pulled it off because they're looking at Jurassic Park being like, hey, man, what happened?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot. So I think the issue is that Marvel and Disney locked in on their style of filmmaking, and they haven't really looked for anything else outside of that. So you have a movie like The Creator where Gareth Edwards comes in and says, hey, I've got this new style where I can do these amazingly beautiful special effects, and they don't cost as much as they do for these other places. And I think that's actually what they're looking to do.
That could be a game changer for Marvel.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because I think that has been... I do think these super movies kind of have to like shift their expectations of what they're doing, because it's like, if not, they're going to die, right? I like the world of putting out these consistent 200, 300, sometimes $400 million superhero movies and expecting them to be successful is over. Yeah. It is done. The age of $2 billion superhero movies is done. We're never getting that again.
Well, I mean, I think the other thing is that everyone would benefit from a lower budget in FX because it would allow the actors to get a little bit more. It would allow the studios to spend a little bit more on advertising. The theaters would get a bigger cut. There's a lot of things that
back as much.
Right. And it can be done. That movie looks amazing. If you guys have not seen it, I know most people have been here, but if you haven't seen it, the special effects look amazing. And they did it for to be fair, $80 million for that movie is a shoestring budget for the amount of VFX that were in The Creator.
Yeah.
It's half the cost. It's under half the cost of a typical Marvel film.
Then, yeah.
So there's that. All right, we're going to jump into probably the one topic that most people wanted me to discuss, which is like Kevin Feige's comments on DEI and woke. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but he actually addressed it.
Yeah, he did.
I thought it was kind of wild. So let's listen to what he had to say about this. So Kevin Feige spoke about Kevin Ivey.
Poison Ivy?
Someone's drunk.
Yeah. Kevin Feige on diversity and inclusion. He goes, I said this before woke and DEI became a thing. He's talking specifically about like the modern sensibilities, not the fact that it existed, but the modern talk around it. And I'm still saying it after. Marvel is the world outside your window. Our stories reflect real people. When you look at the MCU, you see characters from all walks of life, all backgrounds. So he's saying, like, stop trying to make us do something that doesn't reflect reality. We're trying to showcase people that exist in this world. If a character is someone that lives in that environment, they're supposed to be there. Point blank, period. Like they're like this idea of forcing characters into places they don't belong. It's such a weird narrative.
Yeah.
For example, we're talking about inner cities and places where diversity is incredibly common. Like you look at Ironheart, people complained about the amount of diversity in Ironheart. That is what the city looks like. The people in Ironheart represent 2 of the people on the cast are literally from Chicago.
Yeah.
They complained about Ironheart because the internet told them to.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I agree with that. He goes on again. He goes, yeah, go ahead, Omega. Go ahead. Say what you
I was
got.
about to say, they should all be wired. Ironheart should have been played by Ariana Grande, who actually isn't white.
I mean, if they really wanted it to tank
Taylor
Kevin
Swift,
Hart,
it should have been played by Taylor Swift. You need let me shut up. Go ahead.
He goes on to say, we'll be telling stories about Tony Stark again. We'll be telling stories about Steve Rogers again. Recasting iconic characters happens in Hollywood. James Bond, Superman, this is nothing new.
Yeah, fair enough.
Eric, we've talked about this a lot.
Yeah.
We've been talking about this for a year.
So this is included in the same article where he talked about diversity and stuff, which is why I've included it in the same little segment here. But this is him stressing an ongoing commitment to authentic representation, aiming to reflect the real world, diverse as it is. The DEI conversation has been contentious online, but Marvel frames it as natural storytelling and not a forced political agenda. This is very important.
Yeah.
Because not everything is forced political agenda. Not everything is a forced cultural agenda. Some stuff just is what it is. But the problem is on the internet, it doesn't make sense for people to think about something in context. It's easier to just get mad about every single thing that happens. The same people that say they want to see diversity done right get mad at Ironheart, a show where that is an original character.
Just because you don't like
She's not a race swap or a gender swap of anybody else. She is the character from the comics.
Just because you don't like hearing about it doesn't mean it's forced.
Yeah, she's another character with a friggin' super suit. How many characters do we have with super suits?
Yep.
Like
tons of them.
Like
Pepper's fine though. Yeah. Why is Pepper fine?
Yeah. Right. Like,
I forgot all about.
Why is Rhodey fine? Why are all these other people fine? It's like they get this nostalgia lenses on, and anytime they introduce a new character that was created in the last 10 to 15 years, they fucking reject it.
Even though bringing in people from the comics to fill in those things is exactly what they ask for.
Yeah.
No, it is. Like, look, I've said before that when they were arguing about swapping out race and gender and all of that stuff, they were half in and half out of the argument because they're trying to say they prefer the original and they don't want them to change the original. So in that context, they had that argument to fall back on. When you're complaining about characters like Ms. Marvel and Ironheart and Kate Bishop and these characters who are original characters.
Sam Wilson.
Yes, these original characters that exist. You can't make that same argument. So that's why a lot of the Ironheart discourse was so forced because there was no argument to stand on. And I have to give it, look, I don't necessarily agree with everything that Kevin Feige says. I don't agree with everything these executives say. But the fact that he didn't back down and go, well, woke didn't work. It was get woke, go broke. And that's why our movies failed. So we're going to have to change it up. He didn't say that. He didn't flip the script and go, yeah, they're right. So now we have to change everything. He says we're going to continue to tell the stories we have been telling, and they represent the communities that they're going to represent. And that's it.
Yeah. They didn't flip the way he didn't flip the way they wanted him to, so now they're complaining about it. Trying to say that he said something he didn't.
And then we also dealing with the idea of recasting characters like later on. You know what I mean? Like bringing back Steve Rogers and Tony Stark and stuff like that. That's also going to make people very upset.
Yeah. And not only Steve Rogers and Tony Stark, but also the one that's been at this the longest that the inevitable recast is going to piss people off, Wolverine.
Yeah.
It says here, let me scroll down my notes here.
Oh my God, what happened to Garfield?
Also, he said the X-Men reboot is going to be youth-oriented.
Let's go.
The theme is about feeling differently. It ties deeply into Marvel's broader message of inclusion. They want it to feel diverse and inclusive, which is why I included it in this little segment here. Marvel's approach to storytelling quality alongside representation, resisting accusations of sacrificing one for the other. This is his stance on it, which means that the X-Men, look, this is what I want. Hear me out, Kevin Feige. All you have to do is do what you did with X-Men 97 in live action, and I will be fucking happy. That's just give me the bright costumes, give me the characters, give me the relationships like that, and I'm signed on. I won't even have to, like, you don't have to do anything else for me. That's all I need.
It's almost like that vague statement describes exactly what the X-Men are.
Yeah. I think... I don't know if they're going for the X-Men 97 X-Men animated series route for the mainstream MCU, but I think we're getting that Doomsday, right? I think Doomsday and Secret Wars are going to be the very, very comic booky, bright colors, very poppy that we love so much. Right. And I think the main timeline will be a bit of a both. I think it's going to take obviously inspiration from that stuff. They're going to make it comic booky, but they're maybe going to streamline it a little bit for the casual audience, which I'm personally okay with. I heard someone say like a couple months ago that I really haven't been able to get out of my head. I think it'd be really cool to kind of make X-Men your like modern day Harry Potter, not in tone or style, but just in terms of like every year you get to return.
You're not saying hire J.K. Rowling to oversee the X-Men, are you?
No. Keep her away.
Right, but no, I mean the reason that X-Men 97 worked as well as it did, and multiple people have said this, is because it wasn't trying to copy anything else. Like it was doing its own thing. It took its own approach, and you don't want the MCU's X-Men like you want it. It's completely fine if you watch the thing and be like, oh, this reminds me of all these great things, but it's telling the story in this unique way. Yeah. And like you can tell, this is something that really pisses me off as somebody who, like went through film school, learned a lot of the ins and outs of this stuff. It's not the story you're telling that is going to sell your audience. It's the way you tell the story. Because there are a lot of different stories that have been told multiple times over the course of different forms of media, whether you're talking movies, animation, hell, video games, what have you. But the way you tell that story is what grips your audience. Because, look at, stories that they've told. Like how many times have they done, Spider-Man's origin? How many times have they done, a Wolverine solo story? How many times have they done an X-Men formation story? Sometimes those grip the audiences, sometimes they don't. It's all about the way you tell it. All right, ran over.
That's okay. Darren, did you have a follow-up to your comment as well?
Oh, just about like Harry Potter, like of it all. Like I do think there is a craving for that like young adult getting to grow up with your cast of characters. I love it wouldn't happen, but like I love a world where you can have an X-Men movie every year. Right. Like you come back like every March and there's a new X-Men movie, and you do that for like 10 years and you get to watch that cast grow up and become like adults and and there's a rotating cast that
the good thing about the X-Men comics is there's such variety in the team makeup. Like they can swap people in and out. Back in the 90s, I remember when we first kind of got that, because if you go back to the 80s, you would see like X-Men and X-Factor and New Mutants. So those were like the three titles. And then you go into the 90s, you start getting stuff like the Jim Lee era where it split up into like the blue team, the gold team, and then you had so many other like X-Men spinoff comics or characters that were mutants back in that era, because mutants were the hot commodity in the 90s. It literally was the hot commodity. There's so much to pull from that you could really you could dive into it. And I know that they want to cut back on some content, but I think you could actually push the pedal to the metal with the X-Men content, because I think it actually works to do that.
Yeah, because like there's not a shortage of stories that you can tell. They haven't branched out a lot in the past, especially in regards to, like villains. They've backed into the corner of using Magneto as the villain for
over and over
a lot of their things. Now, granted, a lot of the times they tried to do something other than Magneto, it didn't really work. Like I think the one time it did was with Kevin Bacon. Darren, I would like to forget about that. But okay, so this right here, I don't want to see this for like 5 years into.
Well,
X-Men.
Look,
At least.
Jeffrey, I respect you, but I don't want a Dark Phoenix storyline without a Phoenix storyline. You have to
Yes,
give me
because-
a
yes.
proper Phoenix storyline, which is several years long before you ever get to Dark Phoenix.
That's what
Dark
that's what the
Phoenix should
movies
be your
messed up.
Thanos.
That's what the movies messed up both times. They went straight from Jean Grey to Dark Phoenix, but there's a whole phase in the middle where she's just Phoenix and
Right.
still has some stability. That's why X-Men the Animated Series did it so well, is because you had that entire story stretched over the course of that season, where you had a 5-episode Phoenix arc in the beginning, and then little bits here and there were sprinkled, building up to the 5-part Dark Phoenix arc at the end.
Yeah.
And they didn't rush it. And even, I can't remember who it was, I think John Byrne said that, you know, whenever they were doing the Dark Phoenix movie the second time around, he said, I don't know how they thought they could do what took us in comics years to do in a 2-hour movie.
Right.
And
Yeah.
you can't. You can't.
That's why I hated that second X-Men movie so much, because they went from Phoenix to Dark Phoenix in a span of like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Second X-Men movie.
At the end of X2, right?
Yeah, the end of X2.
Well, no, they didn't really have a chance to go to Dark Phoenix there, because like she gets quote unquote taken out before you can really figure out what happened. But no, X3 is the one where they really like go.
Yeah, it was so long ago I couldn't barely remember. I wanted to expunge those movies out of my mind.
But like I said, like I think Jean should be your like Thanos, your like Doctor Doom. It like it should be this 10-year long journey getting there.
And I think it should actually be specific to the X-Men, because it is an X-Men story. Even if you read the comics, it is an X-Men story. You could add the Avengers in there, but I feel like it's such a personal story to the X-Men.
Yes.
It's
And
like
like
House of M is.
Yeah.
And like that's how you make it bigger. It's like, okay, maybe it's not as big as Thanos because that was this like half the world is gone kind of thing. But it's big because it's personal. Like this is hard on the audience because you have spent like, you know, you've watched this girl from like 10 years old from like 20 grow up on screen, and now that she's the villain, it's like, no, I don't like this. Fix her. You like get her back. Like I think that would be really, really cool.
Yeah, and have like back and forth there between all the characters instead of just resolving all of it incredibly fast, because then it doesn't really feel like there's stakes anymore. And you know, like I've said with Magneto, they often fall back to the Dark Phoenix thing a lot more than they need to. If you want to do, you know, stuff with Jean Grey, you know, I know we were saying don't take all the routes from this, but you can do a version of what X-Men 97 did and go down the Madeline Pryor route. That hasn't been done in live action before.
No. And that would be really interesting to do.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to move on from that. Unless
One last thing.
Go ahead.
One last
Get
thing.
it out.
I was about to say, or if they really want to tie it to the greater MCU, they could do the whole Wanda and No More Mutants thing.
No More Mutants,
That's
House of M, yeah.
Yeah.
They could.
Yes, they
100%.
did mention House of M, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about the 7-year plan now from 2025 to 2032, which Kevin Feige talked about. We do have a plan through 2023. It's all on magnets, so it can move around a bit. So it says, post-multiverse saga, Marvel is more deliberate and flexible with long-term plans balancing coherence and room for course correction. The roadmap includes Fantastic Four, Avengers, Doomsday, Secret Wars, and the X-Men reboot. What was that? What happened?
Oh, like Darren's got me awning now.
Oh, okay. This is a refinement of the original Infinity Saga's phase storytelling. So this is a quality over quantity philosophy with them, where they're going to pick the things that they think work the best, which is kind of different from what we've seen before. Before, they would have, I want to say, not a completely concrete roadmap, but like more stable than that. I think now what we're looking at is they're going to play it smaller, not 10 years, 20 years. It's going to be like, what can we do over the next 5 years? What we can do over the next 6 years?
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Which
get
is
it out
what
there.
they had
So-
before. Like, which is what they had in the Infinity Saga days.
I don't think we should be doing saga long arcs anymore. To me, I think they should be doing phase arcs instead. I think that would ultimately work better for them. Very similarly to what Phase 1 did with like Loki. It was like the entire phase was building to one story, and yes, they were building to something else. That it was its own like individual story.
Yeah.
You could watch that one story and be content, like with the universe. I think that's what they need to do. especially with the X-Men having so many rich villains that can be like your Thanoses. Like you have your Apocalypses, and you have, like all the villains that like you can play with that can work as your big bads.
Yeah. Stripe, Shadow King, Bastion. There's so many.
Yeah.
So are we all kind of on board? And Chad, I want you to chime in on this, that they're doing the smaller phase stories opposed to building out 15 or 20 years worth of like content.
They have like three major teams: the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and the Avengers.
I forgot.
Why not have like certain wow. I feel loved. Why not have certain stories that lead into that?
They could. 3Dub, you're nailing what I was thinking in my mind. I think that if they want to do larger stories with characters, keep it within those individual franchises. So, for example, the X-Men might be building towards a Phoenix storyline, but that doesn't have to cross over into the Fantastic Four or the Avengers. It can literally be separate things. I still think they want the Avengers movies to be those big films, but I actually think if done right, the X-Men movies could also do those kinds of big films as well.
Yeah, because they can carry themselves without having to include every other facet.
The X-Men can save the Earth without ever needing help from the fucking Avengers.
Right, like the X-Men is this over here.
Yeah.
They can do so many different things without having to bring in every other facet from the universe like Avengers Endgame and Infinity War did.
And what you also have now is you have these subsections of Avengers. You have new Avengers. You have young Avengers. Like they could have all three of them going at the same time.
You have copyright issues within the team.
So I think, I've said this on here many times. I think the future is just the franchises. I think they're going to have 3 to maybe 6 franchises, and those are where you tell most of your stories, and then you'll have the occasional solo outing. You'll have your Black Panther, your Doctor Strange, maybe a Deadpool here and there, but most of it, like you said, will be among your X-Men, Avengers, Fantastic Four.
All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to jump over to the next topic here. All right. This is about Dr. Doom and Kang, which I thought was really interesting.
Oh, God.
Kevin Feige says, before what happened with Jonathan Majors, we realized Kang wasn't Thanos. Only one character could be that, and it had to be Dr. Doom. So he's sort of saying that they had already planned on doing Dr. Doom over Kang. I don't believe that.
Bullshit. No, bullshit.
No.
Bull fucking shit.
Otherwise, you wouldn't have set up Kang the way you did in Loki to have him lead up to the bigger narrative.
If he rephrased what he said there, I would believe him. If he said, after Ant-Man, we started to think, I'd be like, that makes sense. People didn't really like Ant-Man 3. They didn't, really see the vision. That's fine. Before? Bullshit. Come on. They put all of their chips.
Well, Jonathan Majors was under a multi-film contract.
Yeah.
Kang Dynasty was the name of the first Avengers movie.
Kang Dynasty. He was going to be in Secret Wars. He was set for at least 3 films, probably more than that. And
so you mean to tell me that somehow magically, Kevin? Look, I am usually on Kevin's side when it comes to stuff like this, but you mean to tell me that you kept Jonathan Majors around, and it just so happens that his infractions and whatever he got caught up in coincided with you deciding that Dr. Doom was time to change Kang's Dynasty to Doomsday?
We were already starting to lose faith in Kang, but we decided to keep our Avengers movie named after him for an entire year afterward.
It just doesn't make sense.
No, it's totally PR thing. It's the thing that Disney likes to do a bunch of. It's oh, this is this thing's problems, and we're totally separate from this, and we know what we're doing. It's no, you made a mistake. That's okay.
Own it.
That's okay. And let's be honest, it was never Kang's fault. You can argue what you will about Ant-Man 3, but if the stuff didn't come out, they would have committed to it. They would have committed to it all the way, and they would have been fine with that. I don't know. It's weird.
See, this is what happens when you mess with white women. See, that's all because they got rid of him because he was a strong black man who didn't know it. No, you shut up. I can't even think of anything dumb to say. No, but it's honestly, after all that stuff with Jonathan Majors happened, and that's when they were rethinking, oh shoot, what if all the allegations were true, and let's just rethink all of this now.
You don't want to be like WB was with Ezra Miller.
I mean, and when you're dealing with like the Avengers, arguably the most successful movie franchise of all time, you want nothing to even concern yourself with not getting that $1 billion title or even that $2 billion title. So there unfortunately was going to be people that's like, hey, I don't support what he did. I am not going to see this movie. There's going to be a lot of that, unfortunately.
Yeah,
so I think it's just playing it safe. Like maybe it wouldn't have stopped it, but I don't think they wanted to take any risk.
Maybe a little too safe in this case, though.
Oh, sure.
Like, because I think you and I have hammered this point home a bunch. If they didn't have like all those X-Men characters in their back pocket, they probably wouldn't have let their original Avengers go.
Yeah. Which
I feel like there was a lot riding on Kang. And by the way, Jonathan Majors is an up and coming actor before all those allegations came out, was literally a box office darling. So it doesn't make a lot of sense that you would bring him in, build up to Kang, and then just kill the project.
Also make him weaker than Ant-Man.
Yes. Well,
yeah, that was a mistake. Yeah. That didn't happen.
I will stand by that being a metsake. They should have just killed Ant-Man, in my opinion.
They tried to write that off as it being a variant, but even if it's a variant, it sets a very bad precedent.
Well, the problem is it was a variant that looked exactly like the comic book Kang. So it's like, this is the classic vibe, and you're saying he's a variant. You could have made him anybody. He could have been anyone. He didn't have to actually be Kang the Conqueror. He could have been anybody.
And it sets a very bad precedent. If Ant-Man is a character that can beat him on his own, then why would all the Avengers need to get together?
So, all right, we got some more X-Men stuff to discuss here. This is another interview. So it says Kevin Feige goes, the reset that they're going to be doing after Secret Wars is a singular timeline, meaning that we're not going to have the multiverse anymore for a while after that reset. We're thinking along those lines. X-Men is where that will happen next. It's official. Jake Schreier is doing the X-Men for us. Very lucky. Script's underway. They've been in a place to tell stories about young people who feel different. That's the universal story of mutants in the X-Men comics. It's going to be a youth-oriented tone, reconnecting the X-Men's roots. Michael Leslie writes. I don't know. Do we know a lot about Michael Leslie? I don't know a lot about that person.
I've never heard the name.
So it says, soft resetting the timeline helps manage recasting and continuity. So what do we think about this, since the X-Men are going to be the next ones to get the Fantastic Four treatment with like a course correction and a soft reset to their roster?
Well, I just looked up Michael Leslie. He did the screenplay for Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that is a recent thing on his
pretty good,
his filmography. But then he also did 2016's Assassin's Creed. So yeah, there's
if you will.
There's a bit of a mix there.
What do you guys think? Like, I mean, does this sound good? Are we? Because I was thinking we might see somewhat of that reboot happening in Secret Wars, but it sounds to me like it's going to happen in an X-Men film after Secret Wars.
I imagine it'll probably be I don't think the full-on reboot will happen there. No.
I think that's just their way of saying that, like, the X-Men are now in the main timeline.
Yeah,
now.
And they're like arguably the face.
Yeah, I mean, it's been interesting because like everyone's kind of freaking out about this. Oh my gosh, they're going to get rid of the MCU. Blah blah blah. I think we all like. I think anyone that knows Secret Wars knew that this was the direction we were going. Like, you can't do Secret Wars and not do this kind of thing, right?
This should not have been unexpected.
Right, and I know for a casual audience this is very scary. I know more in the regard of like the Tony Stark, Captain America of it all. I think is where people are very scared, and I really like the prospect of this. Like, is it scary? Am I worried about what's going to happen to some of my favorite characters? Yes, but the prospect of having the original Avengers, Fantastic Four, the X-Men, Hulk, Spider-Man, all in the same timeline at the same times where these sandboxes can mix and match is so exciting to me.
Yeah.
That's never happened before. Like, not in live action, I feel like.
It's like you've always, it's like your little kid playing with all your toys, but, it's like your parents come in and tell you, it's like, no, you can't mix these toys with these. You have to keep them all in separate little groups, and now you're no longer having to do that.
Yeah. No, it's a prospect that like I'm nervous about for sure. Like the prospect of getting a new Iron Man is scary because that's again never happened before. We've never gotten a new Iron Man. You know, I'm worried about Sam's Captain America. That's a big one. Where I'm like,
I hope we get to see some.
Well, the rumor is, and it's not addressed in this particular interview, but the rumor is that Reed Richards is going to be leading the Avengers now, not Sam. So
I think that's what they've said.
Horrible. That'd be horrible.
I think he's either one, leading a team of Avengers, because I think there's going to be multiple in this movie, or two, he's the lead of the movie, but not the lead of the Avengers.
If anybody
you know what I mean?
knows what the Incursion events looked like in the comics, because it was two Earths left that were colliding together, it was the Ultimates and the main continuity, 616.
Yeah.
You had the Maker and all of those characters from that Earth sort of trying to survive, and then you had like our Earth's heroes trying to survive as well.
Yeah.
So there were two factions. So I think you're right, Darren. I think we're going to see like Reed and a group of heroes, maybe some of the Avengers that are left over, sort of as one side, and then the other Avengers is the other, because that's going to make the most sense, I think, in the storyline.
I would not be shocked if we kind of split up our giant, like all of our teams, and we put them all in different groups, and you have Reed's team, Sam's team, Yelena's team, and Scott's team. And they are all leading their separate teams, but it's not necessarily their team. So it's going to be like Scott with like Thor and the Thing and, John Walker. And then, like they're all going to be kind of split up in these different categories. And I think that could be fun. Or what you could do, Eric, is like everyone thinks they're the leader of the Avengers when like they're not, right? Like
it's
Reed,
like one of those movies where everybody's like, I'm the leader of the Avengers. No, I'm the leader of the Avengers.
Reed is very like he's kind of like that. Like he thinks he's the boss of everybody. So it's him coming in being like, all right, guys, we're doing this and this and this and this. And Sam's like, what the hell are you doing? This is my team. You can't be bossing us around, dude. And that's
and then you have the new Avengers as well.
Yeah. And I know we've been using this as an example of like we've been referring to X-Men 97 a lot, but look at what they did where they were in a lived-in Marvel universe. Granted, it was built up and established decades ago, but the X-Men were still the main face of it. Eric, I think you need to put the bottle down. But you still saw other sides of that Marvel universe. You saw Comertage, Latveria, you saw Spider-Man, Daredevil, Captain America, Iron Man. You saw all those other different sides. So they will still be in there as part of that lived-in world, but the X-Men can still be the face. Now, to that point, I hope that they don't do what, like, the one small thing that I wish X-Men 97 didn't do was having non-X-Men characters, namely Captain America in this case, act a little bit out of character just so the X-Men can look better.
Right.
Because in that one episode...
That's the balancing act, really.
With Rogue.
Yeah.
That wasn't exactly... Those weren't exactly Captain America characteristics. Now, I hope, once... presumably if the X-Men become the face, I hope that characters like, Sam or Yelena or whoever, is still around, I hope they don't suddenly change to act out of character.
Go ahead,
that's not necessarily out of character for Captain America, because especially during the Civil War, when in the comics, when the mutants were involved, he was kind of a dick towards mutants. So that's not too out of character for him.
No, so that wasn't my aspect that bothered me, but his whole, acting like his hands were tied. But, but of course, in Civil War, he wouldn't have let his hands be tied by a law that he believed was unjust. He would rebel against it.
Right.
That's exactly what he did.
Yeah, fair enough.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, sorry. I tried to get that out there.
That's okay. No. Okay, so I want to name off what our options are tonight. We're only 1 out of 10, and we only have 21 minutes left. So I don't think we're going to hit the goal, right? I don't think we're going to hit it. For the first time in 2025, I don't think we're going to hit the goal.
Where's Cameron?
So we have... it's killing the channel. Here are the 4 choices we have. Top 5 worst MCU costumes. Top 5 worst sequels of all time. Top 5 best sequels of all time. Top 5 worst MCU seasons of TV. These are the 4 options. Again, this is literally any tier. Any tier, like $1 counts. Like, there we go. Start 99 cents counts. We got 2 out of 10.
There are a lot of bad seasons of MCU TV.
99 cents counts, literally.
Oh,
So we can get to the goal. For $8 more, I could possibly buy a Domino's pizza.
I actually had Little Caesars earlier tonight.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That was some leftover.
Yeah. The box has got a Fantastic Four print on it.
Hell yeah.
I actually got the Fantastic Four pizza.
I didn't get that. I was debating it, but I was just like, nah.
Well, it depends on how much like different types of pizza you like, because it's like one of it's cheese, one of it's pepperoni, one of it's, I believe, like a meat lovers, and the other is like a veggie lovers. I think is or supreme, actually. So,
yeah, I was gonna say they just call it Supreme, not Veggie Lover.
Yeah.
Did you see the idea that I put in the private chat earlier for the Thursday show? I think it was before you sent your long paragraph of what was going to be done tonight.
Yes, I did. Yeah, 100%.
Cool.
So,
just warning people who don't want to see it. They just released the first 5 minutes of Fantastic Four.
Okay, I will not be watching that. I will not be watching that on stream. I am going on a media black. Like literally, the only thing I'm going to do between now and Fantastic Four is play Final Fantasy 14. I'm not going to watch anything else online.
I'm
between now
afraid of seeing that post credit scene. Is
like
I'm
going to just like work, and I'm going to record my other content.
Yeah. So we literally just hit the goal. So thank you guys. Everybody was like, let me go into my pennies and dimes and nickels to make sure we
get all these things out of the piggy bank.
Yeah. All right, goal achieved. Yes, Ronan. By the way, Ronan, if you want to join, if you're going to see Fantastic Four and you want to join for our spoiler stream on Monday, just let me know if you're planning on seeing it. I want to have all hands on deck for that night because it's going to be a lot of fun to talk about this movie.
I won't be able to see it till like Monday.
So that's the day that he's talking.
Well, we're doing it Monday night.
No, never mind that. Yeah, I get off. I get off like at 8:30 a.m. on Monday, so I'll probably.
I can't see it till Monday. I'm literally like it's Monday night, so like I don't know what you're talking about. So.
Okay, never mind.
I'm seeing IMAX 3D. I get to see the stretched arm.
Jake forgot you were here, 3Dub.
Again?
All right.
I think Eric's going to forget a lot of tonight.
Probably. Okay, let's see where are we at next. We'll hold on. Where are my notes? Okay. Next portion. Spider-Man. He talked about Spider-Man here, and this is really important because I think he covered a few things that we were hoping were going to happen, and I guess they're not going to happen. So he says that we're returning to street level storytelling with Spider-Man's roots. That is exciting.
We won.
That's exciting. Super happy about that.
Found a way home.
This film will be the first time Tom Holland is going to be playing a proper standalone Spider-Man.
Let's go.
Well,
sweet.
Unless Hulk and Punisher take up a lot of time.
I wouldn't say standalone, yeah, but
he's using some flavor text here and there with some of his stuff. So Brand New Day is going to refocus on neighborhood crime, personal stakes, and singular storytelling. Punisher returns, hitting a new darker tone. Unfortunately, he confirmed that Miles Morales is off limits due to Sony's rights, and they do not want to give Marvel Miles Morales. This tells me, wait, hold on, Darren. Are you thinking the same thing I'm thinking?
Really quickly, that's not what the article said. They said until they are done with the animated trilogy.
Oh, okay. So there was an addendum to that then.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So my thing is,
I don't think it's bad to not have Miles for the time being. While Peter is like gonna arguably be, living out his prime now, I don't think it's bad to not have Miles there for the time being.
But let me ask you a question. Do you think that so hypothetical? Do you think that Sony wants to do their own live action Miles, or do you think they're gonna have Marvel?
Eventually, yeah.
I would not be shocked if they are after the failure of the Sony universe. If they're like, okay, what can we do that's not Peter Spider-Man, that's separate? Miles would be it. Miles isn't a bad idea.
Look at how successful the animated movies have been for them, and
Spider-Gwen.
As far as other live-action Spider-Man content, yes, Spider-Noir is a niche thing, but I don't think that's going to be enough to carry them.
I forgot about that till you just mentioned it.
Yeah.
I even forgot that it existed.
I wouldn't even be shocked if it was the same Miles. If they literally was like post Secret Wars, that Miles just looks live action. and
Oh,
they
oh.
do that transition, and we just tell stories with him in live action.
Speaking of, they actually pushed back that third movie
Cool.
by a couple months, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yeah.
not months. It's like by a
Weeks.
couple weeks, isn't it?
It's like
Yeah.
3
Oh,
weeks.
is it okay?
Yeah. Which
Yeah, so
it'll line up to be about the same time of the year that the second one released.
Right. So my thing is, I love those movies. Actually, the first Spider-Verse movie is my favorite Spider-Man film.
Yeah.
Of all time. I like it better than any other Spider-Man movie.
Agreed.
People would hate me if they saw my Spider-Man movie ranking.
Well,
Oh,
look,
we should do that someday.
there are movies that I feel like belong at the top of the list because they're just that good. Obviously, the second film in the original trilogy was peak for me.
I'd say the first one too.
Yeah, I know some people say that. I don't feel as attached to that one, I don't think, but I understand why people feel that way. I'm a big Andrew Garfield apologist. I love him as Spider-Man, but I know that's not everybody's like cup of tea. I get it.
And I mean, I've been a defender of Spider-Man 3 for 18 years.
But I actually think this is a really hot take. And I will leave the stream and just let you guys run the show if anybody thinks I should go after this. But
let's go.
My favorite Spider-Man right now is Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I love that.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Okay.
I love it. I love
do
the
too.
Miles movies, but I think like I've had the most fun. We were sitting and watching that show while it was airing, and I thought not only was the animation just great, it was better than what people were saying it was going to be.
Yeah.
But the emotion conveyed through the voice actors and the quality of that storytelling was above what I expected it to be in the best way possible.
I'd argue it's better than most of the movies, just in terms of you actually can tell. Like, I don't know if Spider-Man ever fully translates to me in like a 2-hour movie. Like I think Spider-Man only truly works.
Jaybird.
When you. I think it works when you have like every day he has to kind of do his thing and like get back up and like.
I'm with Serenity on that one. It's like for me, I mean,
that's fair. Yeah,
you can call me, a fucking nostalgia here, but the '90s Spider-Man and the Raimi movies are like the 1A, 1B for me in terms of Spider-Man.
Oh my god!
But like then again, like
Eric,
that's exactly
put
what
down
I'm
the
saying.
damn bottle.
That's what I'm saying though, Jake. Is like Spider-Man works when it's this like continued journey. So '90s Spectacular, Friendly Neighborhood, Insomniac, like those are the best Spider-Man in my opinion because you have time to live with those characters.
I'm gonna say something that might again get me kicked out of the stream. I don't know, but it's my show, but I might get kicked out. As much as I loved Spider-Man in the MCU, and I think Tom Holland's done a great job as Peter Parker, I think what's been missing for me is the lower stakes that revolve around Peter Parker's personal life that we just haven't seen in the movies.
I'll even one up that and say that something that's been missing from Holland's movies that were very present in both Maguire's and Garfield's was that New York City actually felt like a character in those movies where it doesn't here.
We never had it. Like we never got it. Like if you look at
one bit of it that you did get, they're turning against him after he was an Avenger who saved half the planet.
I would say, honestly, Netflix shows did a great job of like showing us what New York is in that world. That's the world that Spider-Man needs to be in. That same world, in my opinion. Look, Rodin's giving his ranking. Not ranking, but his favorites, I guess.
Yeah. Across is still my favorite movie.
Okay.
I think.
I will say this. We should do a Spider-Man like live action and animated ranking stream one day. And I'm going to get Jake to make the tier maker because he does it for Lance. And since you do it for Lance, you have to do it for me too. So,
well, so there's, I was thinking about that, but there's also like maybe a fun way that we could do a spin on it. What if we all made?
Wait, hold on. Wait, spin on it? Like, what do you? Never mind. Finish what you're saying.
There's a fun way that we could do a spin on, like ranking the Spider-Man movies.
You said it again. Good.
Spin.
Are you drunk?
That guy isn't in the chat right now. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Anyway,
I'm being a brat. Go ahead. What you're saying, Jake?
What if everybody made their own individual lists on Letterboxd, and then we just took turns presenting them and critiquing the person's lists?
Or we could do like one of those bracket fights. Could be fun too.
Ooh, and have to explain why you think yours is the best one.
That has the potential. Wait, as in bracket fights of the lists, you mean, or just
No,
like bracket fights,
individual
with just like
things.
the
like
movies.
we pick ours, and then we have to argue our position on why we think it's the best one.
That has the potential to get very ugly.
It could. But you know what? Ugly is a reality.
I was going to say, I was
some people are just
tempted,
ugly on the inside, and it comes out when they argue their position.
I was tempted to just send you my thing on Letterboxd that I have, and just like let you present it, and then let my list get roasted by the chat. I'm fully free to open.
We'll do that on another stream. We've got a ton of stuff left, and 3Dub doesn't have much time because he's got to go fishing. Are you still here, 3Dub?
Do you have much time,
Wait,
Eric?
wait. Are you in fishing tonight?
In the morning.
Oh,
5 in the morning.
I was like,
oh dang.
You might as well just stay up at this point. Like it's almost like you're on the same
why
time.
don't you go to
zone as
bed,
me.
buddy?
I did
Yeah,
sleep during the day, so.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Eric, you're gonna need a liquid IV after this.
Maybe.
Oh, Serenity, mine too. If people saw my letterbox list, they would hate them.
Well, I'll have to create one. You know, I'm not even on Letterboxd.
Oh, you have to get on there.
I will.
I'm not. I don't even know what Letterboxd is.
Oh, okay. So in my note, I still have notes over here. In my notes, are we excited to see Punisher in a Spider-Man movie, or is it going to be too like watered down?
Yeah,
I don't think it'll be watered down.
It'd just be funny when Punisher shoots somebody in the face with a shotgun, and Spider-Man's like, "Why?"
Well, 3Dub loves
even
Punisher.
though, even though Spider-Man was this close to murdering Norman Osborn in his last movie.
Yeah, point.
I think out of all the cameos and characters you could have in him, I think Punisher is one of the ones that I think opens yourself up to some very interesting.
Well, because the
conversation.
dichotomy is so great between the two of them.
Yeah.
You have Peter Parker, that's like the nicest kid you're going to meet, and then Punisher, who just murks people. Like it's just 3Dub's going to love that.
No,
As long as he isn't like fully on board with what he's doing, like
will
they
say-
can't be friends necessarily.
I'm not. I'm a little worried because I feel like they're going to nerf him down to
They are.
PG-13,
They will,
which
100%.
I do not like.
I think they're going to do a lot of implied like violence,
I mean,
right?
they made Wolverine work in PG-13.
So let me read what he says next, 3Dub. It's going to make you mad. In order to reach the PG-13 rating, we're going to give Punisher water guns.
What?
Oh my god.
I'm just kidding. That's not what it says. Okay, so he talks about Mephisto here. So Sacha Baron Cohen's Mephisto factors into our future plans. He wasn't in WandaVision, but the time is now. So it says here that he likes Cohen's take on the character, and that he has plans for him down the road. So this tells me that Ironheart isn't a forgettable show that Marvel doesn't care about because of DEI and wokeness, like everybody kept saying.
Yeah.
His character is going to be important moving forward in the MCU. Now, this makes me wonder, where would we want to see him? I feel like in that supernatural corner of the MCU is where it makes the most sense. So, like in that Blade area, Midnight Suns, Doctor Strange, like that whole portion of the MCU.
I mean, in an ideal world for me, Champions would kind of would just make sense. Like he's introduced. No, the like Champions, the like Young Avengers.
I was
of it all.
joking.
Because it kind of makes sense. Like when you look at that lineup, you know, he was introduced in Ironheart. You have Billy and Tommy, which have that like direct connection to the supernatural world. Arguably, even America, which has the connections with like Doctor Strange. So like you would have like a Doctor Strange cameo, and like to me that just makes a lot of sense. And I feel like you know, he would be a villain that would give a team like that a real run for their money. I think you could do some cool things there. But if not, maybe Vision Quest, potentially, maybe Doctor Strange 2.
Doctor Strange 3?
Werewolf by Night,
Yeah,
that's another
whatever.
good one. Man Thing would be good.
Give more of... Okay, I've said this before. And
Have
I'll
you?
Say it again. Yes, I
Okay.
have. When you were sober. I've said that since they did that special presentation of Werewolf by Night,
Uh-huh.
and, you know, for anybody who's familiar with the team of monsters, the Howling Commandos, give each of those other monsters from the Howling Commandos
Their own special.
special presentation, because you would bring in a unique world, a unique landscape, a unique tone.
I miss Elf.
Like they've
I
done
want
it for
Elf
Werewolf
on
by Night, but you could do it for both the Living Mummy and Frankenstein's monster. You could take a really fun Marvel spin on those concepts, and it would just be really fun, have a lot of potential for good storytelling.
That's true.
I think.
Short Car, I want to address this. We talked about it briefly, but they released it the way they did because they needed to get it out before Fantastic Four. That's the problem. The way the release schedule is going to work is we'd have Phase 5 overlapping with Phase 6.
Yeah.
I don't like it, but that's just the way they decided to do it.
And I'll say it again. It should have come out last year.
It should have come out like a few months after Wakanda Forever.
I don't know if it's in my notes, but Kevin Feige did address that the reason why that happened is because he was trying to pull back on the influx of like so much Marvel content. But you had a year where the only thing that fucking came out were Deadpool, Wolverine, a cartoon, and one show.
And this year there's 8 projects coming out. If you're concerned about that, it should have been this year. You would have been concerned about it 2025, not last year.
It's crazy. It's crazy to me. Let's do some super chats quickly before I cannot do them. Staggervorth, the 99-cent super chat. Thank you so much. South Texas Shark with a $2 super chat. What's your favorite drink? So I'm not a big like beer drinker or anything like that. Like I don't drink a lot of.
You could fold us.
Which isn't beer.
I'll share a custom recipe in a minute.
But I typically prefer to do shots. That's what I like to do. I like to do shot. I'm a shot person, so I don't walk around and like nurse a drink. I'm a shot guy. So
I'm nurse a drink.
Whenever
I will though. Like I like wine and champagne and stuff. So I will do that. But like when it comes to like spirits, I typically do shots.
So whenever I've helped, people host like parties and stuff, a drink that I've always liked to make for those occasions. So I've taken coconut Bacardi, pineapple vodka, blue Curaçao, and a splash of lemonade. And
so you're trying to do like a Caribbean drink, basically.
Kinda, but not quite. And it's got like a really kind of sweet summer taste to it. And like I've adapted the recipe several times. First time I used lemon juice, and then I moved up to lemonade. I really like the way it is now. So just my own little humble brag there.
Well, that sounds delicious. My favorite actual drink is a drink called Grind. It's a coffee liqueur. It's my favorite one.
I used to drink Moscow Mules a good amount before I cut soda altogether.
Right.
That one was a little bit of a tough one for me because I do love the way that Moscow Mules taste, but I cut soda 3 years ago and I was like, damn it, okay, gotta cut those.
We have several 99-cent super chats from Staggervorth. Thank you so much. We have a $1 from Ronan Unchained, who I hope is going to join us for the Fantastic Four spoiler discussion.
I think he said yes down in the comments.
Yeah, I probably missed it. Even though I'm sharp as attack right now, I feel like I might have missed it. $2 super chat from South Texas Shark. What city would you like to visit? Austin, Texas. I got friends that live there. We're talking fictional cities. I'd like to visit, not Gotham, man. Definitely.
No, because you won't leave.
Central City, probably. I'd like to visit Central City. Go to CC
touching your
Jenner's.
pearls.
If we're, I was gonna say, if we're talking fictional cities, then I don't know. Star City sounds kind of cool. But then not CW Star City.
Okay, fair.
But
That's just Gotham.
but if we're talking like real cities, this one's not really much of a city, just more location. I've always wanted to visit that area in Canada. I think it's in Alberta. It's called Lake Louise. I've always wanted to visit that.
Okay. Anybody else want to chime in on fictional cities they want to visit?
Gotham.
Metropolis.
Okay, Metropolis I can take. What about National City? Anybody want to go visit Supergirl? Okay, never mind. Lone Wolf with $2 super chat says, did you guys hear the news on Bruce Willis? I did. It's really sad news. Like I did hear about it. I mean, we knew it was coming based on what he has, but it's never nice to hear that someone has deteriorated to that point.
Right.
So it's unfortunate.
Oh yeah.
Did you hear about the guy that was on Bill Cosby show that basically
died?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like was it like a drowning accident or something?
Yeah, it was a drowning.
Does anybody know the details of it? Because I just saw the headline.
He basically got hit with a big current and couldn't
He has a
touch air.
rip current.
Yeah.
Wow.
Those things are rough because
Rip currents are like, okay, so I'm not
Seen
trying to
those
tell people to
firsthand.
leave the stream, obviously, but when we're done, just look up on YouTube what a rip current actually does. It's bad.
I don't have to
you
look it
wanna
up.
get
I've
caught in a
seen
rip
it.
current. Yeah.
I've seen it with my own eyes. I don't have to look it up.
It's
Like
a
a work
shame that
fans.
out of everyone in that cast, had to be him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes, yeah. Cameron, who, hey Cameron, I didn't even know you were in the chat tonight. $5 super chat. Eric, have you seen that DC is doing Flashpoint again, but with Bart Allen to tie into the DC KO event, and DC is going to call it Bart Flashpoint? Wait, hold on. Am I seeing double?
You're
Bart
not drunk.
Flashpoint.
You're reading it right.
Okay. Okay, so we need to retire a few things at least for a decade. Anything, comma, point or crisis needs to be retired. Like,
Hell, you want a really hot take?
what's that?
Retire the character of Barry Allen for like 5 years at least.
Oh wow, that is a hot take.
Because I think most of those stories you can tell with him in live action or animated media have already been told. And there was already a whole animated movie earlier last year that dealt with Barry Allen's crisis death. So
I still think the best Flashpoint we've ever gotten is the animated movie.
oh, that's not even close. Yeah, because the Arrowverse version sucked. The one in the movie, I mean, it was fine.
It was called Flashpoint, but it wasn't really Flashpoint in my opinion.
No,
so.
well, granted, they followed like little bits of it
Granted?
to be, like they, like they recruited an older Batman. They, rescued a Kryptonian. Barry got struck by lightning twice. They fought in a superpowered war. Very loose adaptations, but it was still better than what the Arrowverse did.
By the way, I ordered a new arm for my microphone, so hopefully I don't have to prop it up on this little thing that I have.
I think you're gonna need to order a new liver by the end of the night.
Staggerforth, the one-eyed super chat. Isn't Hulk supposed to appear in Brand New Day? I think there's a rumor about it, but they didn't.
rumor.
Kevin Feige didn't mention anything about it.
Nothing
The only thing he
confirmed
mentioned was Punisher. So I don't know how true that is.
Doesn't have a habit of appearing in Marvel movies that have new in the title.
Okay.
Brave New World, Brand New Day.
Might be also controversial. This is just hot take night, right? Like this might be controversial. I liked the beginning era of the Hulk with Mark Ruffalo, and then they fucking fumbled it.
He peaked in Avengers.
They fumbled it big
Yeah.
time. There was so much possibility for them. I didn't mind him as Bruce Banner, but what the fuck did they do to the character?
Yeah.
Best thing he ever did as Bruce Banner was the
My
scene where he's
favorite-
going, I didn't see a way out, so I put a bullet in my mouth and the other guy spit it out.
There's go ahead, Darren.
I
sorry.
thought it was being in a relationship with Scarlet Witch. That was
well, the
I
sun's
mean,
going
not
down.
Scarlet Witch,
Scarlet Witch.
Black Widow.
What are you
Black
talking
Widow.
about?
Like
Widow.
Johansson, that's who you were
Black Widow.
thinking.
I get it. I get it.
I was thinking Scarlett Johansson. Okay.
Natasha. Go
I
ahead,
think,
go ahead.
like some of it's their fault, some of it's not. Like Hulk is a very tricky character to do.
Yeah.
But I do think he needs somewhere for them to try and fix him up a little bit.
Right.
I would, I'm interested because I do think Hulk is one of those characters that will get rebooted. I think we're
Okay.
going
I
So
love Hulk.
a few things we need to discuss here before we move on to the next topic. Number one is Hulk had two moments that I really enjoyed, and then one that I thought was badass, but it was also fucked up. So my favorite Hulk moment is him versus the Hulkbuster. I think that's a great fucking
it's
battle.
cool. Yeah.
That's battle, right? Although fuck that city, like I guess just whatever. And then I love it when he arrives for the Battle of New York and he's like, the secret is I'm always angry, and then he just fucking turns into the Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That scene was crazy. And then the one where they used him as a pawn, and I've talked about this before, to show how powerful Thanos is, and bro never fucking recovered from it, which is
Never.
getting his ass kicked by Thanos and then turning into like the worst version of that character you
Right.
could possibly imagine.
Because he never got the shit kicked out of him like that.
But it wasn't even that. It's just like, why? There is no actual in-universe real explanation for why it's happening other than him trying to talk about some sort of internal struggle between the two of them. But put that in a movie. Make a buddy movie where we explore that. Why the fuck did we just
Yeah.
jump into that?
Said this before and I'll say it again. What they should have done, hell, they even made a Funko of this for God's sake. They should have had Banner in Endgame, being his normal self, and then him going through that arc where he finally regains control of the Hulk by the end of that movie. He shows up in that last battle wearing the Hulkbuster armor again, and then just busts out of that armor and goes nuts.
Well, I think there was an actual version. I think there's an actual version of the film where he is Hulk, and they changed it.
Right. Yeah, they did, and they made a Funko toy where he's like coming out of the armor as Hulk. They made that into a toy. You knew they were going to do it, and ever since then, he has just been the butt end of joke after joke after joke.
I wanted to see him fight against Cull Obsidian.
I want to see this Hulk fight Wolverine.
Well, that too. But look, this brings me to my next point. Thank you for leading me there, Jake, because I was having a hard time getting to that point.
He did fight Deadpool,
welcome, as your fellow, as your AA guy over here, I've got you.
Okay, so let me tell you what I think we're going to see in this like rebooted younger universe. Since the X-Men are going to be reverting down to like a younger group of characters, which is literally how they started out in the comics, by the way. So I don't think that's a hot take or whatever. Art Adams, the comic that cover there that I fucking love, that you have on your shirt. But yeah, so I think we're going to see a youthful Avengers as well. So the Young Avengers thing, I think, is going to go away, unfortunately, because I think the Avengers are also going to be aged down a little bit.
Give me Eli Bradley, man. I want to see Eli Bradley.
a little Wolverine.
I think sadly, there's actually a tear forming in my right eye here that we're going to lose Young Avengers because of this.
Unless they merge into one team. Like, not all the way, but
you
like...
mean like the younger, like Steve Rogers with like Kate Bishop and stuff like that?
Yeah, Kate Bishop and Miss Marvel. I mean, like, Miss Marvel's in the like game, right? So like there's stuff like that you could maybe do. Instead of Cassie, it's Hank, right?
Yeah.
The fuck?
What happened?
I just got like 5 messages on my phone at once. I'm like,
didn't that happen the other night?
I'm like, who's messaging me at almost 2 o'clock?
Wait, that happened to somebody the other night. Was that you? Was that the same thing?
Yeah, that was Jake.
That might have been me, yeah. Right. I just looked over and I saw like 5 notifications on this thing.
All right.
Like, okay.
We got a couple more super chats and then we have a couple more quotes. And then we might have to like wrap it up because I'm feeling a certain kind of way. Yeah.
We're on the whole Hulk discussion still.
Yeah.
Hot take here. I don't think Ang Lee's Hulk is actually that bad of a movie.
Thank you.
I don't think the movie's bad, but I think the VFX have aged poorly in that movie.
Yeah, I understand that. But I never thought that was a bad movie.
No, I don't think that movie's bad.
That movie was like what would happen if we do a psychological take on the Hulk, which
that
is
movie. I'd argue that movie was better than the Incredible Hulk. Narrative and structure wise, superficially and VFX wise, Incredible Hulk probably has an edge up on it there. But I don't think that movie's bad. I'd love to see Eric Bana show up in Secret Wars. Will it happen? Probably not, but I'd love it.
I mean, if it's going to happen, it has to happen in those 2 movies.
Right.
Otherwise, it's done.
I want to see all 3 Hulks.
I mean, that would be really cool, actually.
I mean, Edward Norton and Mark Ruffalo are playing the same Hulk, so.
Well, there's a multiverse,
Yeah, you can make it work.
Well, Lone Wolf here, the Challenge Super Chat says, thoughts on Kevin Feige talking multiverse post scenes? I didn't see this part. It's not in my notes over here. Do you know what that is?
Scenes? What's that?
As in, like, post-credit scenes for the Avengers movies?
Yeah. I didn't see that, Lone Wolf.
You
might have shared it in the group chat, and I just haven't looked at it. But unfortunately, there's a.
I remember the quote.
Multiple windows at the moment, and I'm sorry, but we'll cover it at a later date.
I do have. Okay.
I do funny. I was sorry. I thought you were done. Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was like, I do remember the quote. I can say it real quick if you want, DJ Eric.
Yeah, what is it?
Okay. So basically he said that some will keep, some will forget, and some like basically not happen.
Oh yeah, I did see that. He was just basically.
Oh, you mean like previous post credit?
Yeah,
scenes?
basically those post credit scenes that they promised, all those promises that we never like.
Well, if you think about this in reality, I mean, if a what the fuck? If an incursion event happened and things were out of the control of the characters, those scenes would go away. They wouldn't matter because it was changing.
You said the C word.
Did you have something to say, Darren? I'm sorry, I didn't cut you off.
It'd be really funny.
Omega, what are you doing?
It'd be really funny if post Secret Wars they just went back to Edward Norton.
That'd be stupid, but
That'd be so stupid.
Oh my god!
No, I really did not like his Bruce Banner.
Yeah, I didn't either. His Hulk was great though, but his Bruce Banner.
Hulk was fine. Yeah.
I hate it.
Lone Wolf with the $2 super chat. This is the last one. Then we're going to move over to the last couple segments here. Debunk Ben Shapiro's Superman review. He did a Superman review.
Yeah, I didn't even watch that shit. You just know he's gonna say, "Oh, it was woke and blah, blah, blah." That's why your wife's pussy's dry.
How
did they know?
Is that what was said, or did you say that to him personally?
Oh no, I'm just saying that to him personally.
Okay,
that was that was ChatGPT that did the review.
So I have done like probably on the Debunks channel like 5 or 6 debunking of like reviews on Superman. I don't really think the Superman discourse has much more to add because it's really obvious to me that the people that are talking negatively about it they're trying so hard to make it sound like an awful movie that it's just painfully obvious to me. If I get a free day, because I have a few videos planned out for this week, if I get a free day, I might do it, but we'll see. We'll see. If I get a $10 super chat that says debunk Ben Shapiro, I will make the video. If I get a $10 super chat that tells me to do it, I'll do it because I'm really easy like that. All right. So the multiverse and time travel in Avengers Doomsday. So we talked about this, and I think somebody in the chat mentioned this might actually be the thing that was sort of spoilery, I guess, but he said it in an interview, so we're going to talk about it. The Earth 616 heroes will visit Earth 828.
Omega, what are you saying the fuck about?
Somebody was talking about it was in Ben Shapiro's review. He was saying that Lex was right. That's all. I was like, wait, the fuck?
Yeah. I saw that.
How did you come up? No, what? Never mind.
So this is interesting. The 616 heroes will visit Earth 828. So they're going to go back to Earth 828 after Galactus has destroyed it.
Do we know he's going to though? Like that's
the
what we've
question.
assumed,
right?
But it would be, I guess, it would be the bigger twist if he doesn't do it at this point, right? Like if they're safe by the end, of the movie.
Maybe
I don't know.
It says here he confirmed the TVA remains MCU's multiverse time control hub, although they're not planning right now on any multiversal stories at the moment.
Interesting.
Doomsday is going to blend realities, tying into the Fantastic Four's retro future world. So this makes me wonder. Okay, maybe my brain's not in the right place right now, but I'm still functioning a little bit here. Maybe the ship we see at the spoiler alert end of Thunderbolts, New Avengers, isn't the same Fantastic Four that we meet in the Fantastic Four movie.
I saw a theory that it wasn't even the Fantastic Four in that ship.
Oh, that's what I've been saying. I think that's Doom.
You think it's Doom?
Yeah.
Okay. Either way, the good thing is I think this doesn't confirm or deny anything. It just means we don't know what the fuck is going to happen, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Kevin Feige on Marvel's direction. He admits that Marvel had too much content. He thinks that's the cause of fatigue and plans to slow output, focusing on bigger budget, more polished films. That he wants the films to feel more like events moving forward. It's going to delay some projects, but it's going to restore audience trust. He's going to insist on script quality over quantity. And yeah. So, but you said, Darren, there's like 8 things coming out. So, I mean.
Well, I mean, this year we need to get everything else that we've been working on for the last 6 years.
Right.
And then but even next year, there's a lot coming out. Like there's 3 movies. Right. It's going to be 2 movies. Punisher, Daredevil,
Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man,
Vision Quest, X-Men,
yeah.
There's still 7 or 8 projects that's coming out next year. So
yeah.
The cops are coming for someone.
Huh?
Is that
the cops are coming from somewhere.
No, it's in it's in the background over here.
So Kevin Feige also said that even though his contract is up in 2 years, he said he's going to be there for another decade or so, meaning that Disney and Marvel are probably going to re-sign with him, which makes sense to me.
Imagine they didn't.
Right.
Wait,
He says,
what?
Idiots.
his continued role promises vision and stability post reset. Fans can expect consistent storytelling and philosophy. Feige reminds MCU's creative linchpin, basically saying that he's going to try and steer the ship back to where it was before. And that's kind of the last bit that I had over here. Do we feel confident that he can sort of like course correct everything and get it back to where it was?
Yeah, he's doing a reboot, so I don't see why
It helps
not.
that he's not doubling as a filmmaker at the same time.
That's a good point. That is a good point.
Just saying.
All right, hold on. My mouse is not moving. Wait, no, it is. It just didn't look like it was moving to me. Hold on.
Darren, I feel like you want to combat what I just said.
I do. I do.
Go ahead. Go
because
ahead.
I think like that's why Peter Safran's there. Peter Safran
Right.
is there to do all the business stuff, and James is there as a creative head. Although I will say, eventually, I do think he'll stop. Like I do want him to stop eventually once you kind of get things established. I think
I kinda want that Superman to be under a different writer.
I mean, we could disagree with that, but that's okay.
Fair enough.
All right. So
See,
the
look,
last.
everybody, we had the disagreement peacefully. Take notes, internet.
No, I like to scream at people. So.
Maybe not the best idea whenever you're inebriated.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So there is some DC news, but because of the fact that we're already over the 2-hour mark, we're going to put a pin on that, and we'll talk about it on Thursday. Because I don't know how much more DC news we're going to get this week, but we'll do that on Thursday. So Fantastic Four first reactions. This is going to be the last thing we talk about, and then we're going to see what won the poll. Fantastic Four first reactions say the film is one of the best things Marvel has ever made. Look, I am so tired of this being the reaction.
At least they're not leading with the best film since Endgame headline.
It's still, I feel like this thing is the best thing Marvel's ever made feels so reductive at this point.
Don't they say that like every?
That's what I mean. Look, okay, so like the what is it? Captain America 4 wasn't the best movie. It was an okay movie, right?
It was fine, yeah.
I think Thunderbolt / New Avengers was a great film.
Oh yeah.
That was a great movie. This movie for me just needs to be as good as that movie. However, this one has a lot more writing on it because it's the beginning of Phase 6. Like Thunderbolts was a relic of Phase 5.
And it's the first time you're getting the Fantastic Four reintroduced in a decade.
This is like a cried wolf situation where this could be one of the greatest movies ever made. But once you say that for every other Marvel project, it loses its meaning. And we cannot trust that statement no more.
Right.
And they feel like falling back on that every time a movie every time a movie makes under $1 billion, they feel like that's what it goes under. And I even had to point this out to somebody today. This really got on my nerves. They're saying, oh, well, do we really think Fantastic Four is going to do good just because it has Marvel's name on it? They said, oh, look at Thunderbolts, it flopped. I said, no, it didn't flop. It underperformed. Brave New World flopped. There is a difference between flopped and
flopping is not making back your production budget. Literally, you don't make back your production budget.
Thank you. Underperforming is making back your production budget, but not earning much past that. There is a literal textbook difference, and it's not that hard to Google.
Right. But flop is a much more buzzy word. People love to use the word flop. So.
Right. They use it because they don't know what it means, and they use it just to make themselves part of the conversation.
Right.
I'll say this. I prefer one of their best that they've ever done over this saved the MCU. Stop saying you saved the MCU or the MCU is back. The last movie was literally Thunderbolts. People
never went anywhere.
Love Thunderbolts. Before that, Deadpool. Before
and
that,
I also want to point out Ironheart was
Spider-Man.
really good too, and that the people were saying negative things about Ironheart. So
if Thor: Love and Thunder didn't kill the MCU, it's gonna be fine. Okay, just saying.
So here it says next best picture editor-in-chief Matt Neglia wrote on X that Marvel tentpole lives in the namesake of fantastic, hailing the film's excellent leading quartet and delightful retro futuristic aesthetic. He wrote, combined with Matt Shackman's snappy, confident storytelling, this is an intriguing, satisfying first step for Marvel's new team. Easily the best depiction of this quartet on screen to date. That's okay. I like to hear that because that makes me a little bit more like.
Oh my God, Shortcard just brought up another one. I'm so fucking tired of hearing that.
All the best things to start.
Oh my God, can we please stop using that as the example?
As the MCU continues to regain control of the ship and steer it closer to Doomsday, entertainment journalist Brandon Davis, who used to be part of comicbook.com, I think, also took to X to share his thoughts. The Fantastic Four is one of the best things Marvel's ever done. Oh, Brandon, you know better than that. And compared the visuals to those of Christopher Nolan's Interstellar. Oh, another Christopher Nolan comparison.
Oh, boy.
All right. Galactus is awesome. Silver Surfer looks really, really good. VFX were often immaculate. Cosmically and on Earth, Matt Shackman dropped a visual feast. See, you could have just done this. This could have been your statement. Like, you could have just dropped that one. People staffer Sarara Drury echoed the praise, echoing on X that Fantastic Four is breathtaking. She gave particular kudos to Pedro Pascal and Vanessa Kirby, who play MCU's power couple, Reed Richards and Susan Storm. Stunning visuals, a moving story, witty banter, and epic action. Marvel's first family delivers one awesome ride. Pedro Pascal nails it as Mr. Fantastic. Vanessa Kirby stands out as Sue Storm. She's a shooting star. We got one, says rounding out the leading four alongside Pascal are Kirby and Joseph Quinn and Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, and Evan Moss-Bacra as Ben Grimm, aka The Thing. First Steps follows the titular super squad as they defy Earth from the gargantuan planet eating. Oh, by the way, I've seen people asking why
Super
Galactus
Squad.
looks. Huh?
I was just making fun of the thing that they said Super Squad. It reminded me.
Oh,
of
yeah. I feel like there's a lot of people who are like, oh, I thought Galactus was much bigger than the Earth, and here he is walking on Earth. He can change fucking size.
Yeah.
Tell me you
That's
don't
one
read
of the
comics
things
by
you learn about Galactus in the animated show immediately.
Omega, these movies have been going on.
by saying you don't read comics.
Omega, these movies have been going on for 20 years. If people weren't reading comics back then, they're not going to start now.
No, you're right. You're right.
People still think he's supposed to be like a storm cloud.
Oh God, please don't bring that up.
Yeah, I mean,
Please don't, or I'm going to start drinking.
Here's what I'll say, and like obviously we have to wait for the critics, more people to see it and for audience to come out. But if this is as good as people are saying, we are heading into what could be one of the greatest stretch of comic book movies of all time. Yes, pun intended. Thunderbolts. I know not everyone loves Superman, but it's pretty beloved by most people. This, and then what's next? We have Supergirl, Spider-Man, Avenger. We have some bangers incoming. I feel like we could be in this golden era of superhero stuff.
It's okay, Chris. I wasn't trying to be facetious. Well, look, not only is he comic accurate, but it's not even VFX. Apparently, most of it is shot with Ralph actually in a suit on a set.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Ralph can just do that,
and them just using wide-angle lenses.
That's great. I love that. It's like the old kaiju Godzilla shit, which I really enjoy that.
Sick.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate that because I'm somebody that grew up on practical effects. So whenever I look at something that's fully CG, I can look at it and go, "Ooh, that doesn't look right." So if I can, what?
I saw it.
Oh my God.
Oh, Lance
What
would
is
love
it?
that.
19 inches of venom.
Oh no, freedom. Well, I think we might actually meet his daughter. I think that might be something that happens down the road.
What giant planet eater would? You know what? Never mind.
All right. With that being said, let's see what won the poll. Let's jump over here. In the poll, where are we at? What do we get? The winner is by 34%. Top 5 worst sequels of all time.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
That's the one I voted for.
Woo! So that's going to be great. We're talking about number 2s, not 3s, 4s, and 5s, just number 2s.
Interesting.
That's number 2s.
We might expand that later on, but right now it is just direct. Get it?
What?
Number 2s? Number 2s?
Here, Eric, I put something in private chat.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Go ahead. You can do
No,
it.
no, I was just asking if you wanted to do it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you mentioned it. Do you want to explain what it is? You talked about it.
Well, it was just something that you had the idea for like a stream or two back where, you know, we were all, talking about just showing and telling our different, stuff that we have, like our setups, things like that. And I figured just, since I imagine Thursday is probably not going to be particularly news heavy, it's going to be just, a little bit of light Fantastic Four talk.
Very early. Like I'm going to talk about like the movie, and we'll keep it spoiler free. Then we'll talk about the James Gunn DC stuff, and then the rest of it will be pretty much open. So
yeah, so like that, like do a little bit of disconnect showing the setups there. Darren can show you all of what he's got on that shelf if he wants. And like the box of hats that he probably keeps hidden. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
But
I don't think Antonio Banderas was ever going to be Galactus. I think that was just a fake story, personally.
He's Puss in Boots.
All right, so I am going to make a pizza as soon as we're done with the stream here.
yeah,
because
soak up all that fireball.
Yeah, I have to 100%. But I want to thank everybody for being here in the stream. 3Dub, who's going fishing in the morning, actually in like 3 hours.
Oh, buddy.
So good luck on that. Thank you for being here. 4 hours. Okay. Thanks, Darren, for being here. Thanks, Jake, for jumping in. Omega for hanging out. By the way, are you still playing 14 at all, Omega, or no?
I actually uninstalled it. I'll wait till the next patch because I'll get back in.
Comes out next month.
Yeah, I'll join back next month.
All right. I mentioned pizza a lot. Pizza is literally my favorite food. I love pizza. I'm like the Turtles with pizza. I love pizza.
I haven't played.
You and your brother are picky eaters.
I haven't played Final Fantasy since 10 on the PS2.
Wow,
that's the last time I played it.
All right,
okay, look, top Final Fantasies: Tactics 7, 16, 6, 5.
6, 7, and 10 were the only ones I played.
What happened here? Oh, okay, you got it. All right. Pineapple pizza for me. I can't do pineapple pizza.
I love pineapple pizza. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, I'm the devil.
Same.
So, by the way, I want to give a shout out to everybody who came through with the super chat. Like, literally, I didn't expect that to happen. It was just like a flood of super chats to get to the goal.
Because guys, YouTube is killing this channel with shadow bans and talking.
YouTube's killing all of us.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, we're going to jump out of here. I am going on no Fantastic Four spoilers as of the end of this stream, so I can go into it fresh as can be. We'll be back on Thursday with a non-spoilery chat about Fantastic Four for those who have seen it. And anybody who hasn't seen it will not get spoiled. And then we're going to do DC and show and tell if people want to show off some of their stuff. Anyway, I'm out of here. See everyone later. Have a great night.